some back there, so that's great. everybody, what's up? Hey, I know we're starting a couple minutes early, but it's by design. This is our backstage area right here. This is our final day today, and I just wanted to give a little bit of love. You can see all of the places. We've got multiple Zoom rooms right here, Spanish speaking, English speaking. Look at all of the places, and I could scroll down and down and down everywhere this is streaming. And you don't need to keep going down, but it goes down and down everywhere. Like, the production of this is crazy. I want to introduce you to Kat right here. Kat oversees all of our events. She has been the quarterback of making this happen. So Kat, give the crew back here some love. And in chat and in Zoom and on Facebook and on Instagram, give this crew some love.
Yes, okay, so here's our crew. Leaf is over here monitoring all of our Zoom rooms, amazing. We have Zion on our ProPress today, so everything you see on the screens is him. We have Brent over here switching, making all those camera angles look amazing. Ben's over here on audio. We have Julie back here frantically managing our marketing department, and then we have Tapith and Jeff running cameras out on site. You guys, it's an incredible crew. Give it up for them. Give them tons of love in the chat. It's been a great week.
And then thanks to everybody else who's been in the studio this week. I don't want to start naming names because I'll forget somebody, but anybody that had their hands in the studio this week, it takes a lot to pull this off. And the big reason why just a lot of what transpired on Monday had to do with the fact of all of the different places this is streaming. It's literally the reach of this week has been millions and millions of people. And today, we're going to start on time. I want to go introduce you to a couple people on stage here. So Kat introduced them already, but right there, we got somebody running both cameras. Give some love. I know Kat gave you a shout out. And then you might be wondering, who's the person following me? Can we get a shot of Jeff right here? This is Mr. Jeff. He's running this camera right here. This big, can you get the rig right here? Can you get the rig? You see the rig right there? So this is the rig that he's monitoring. And then we've got a camera up here too that they're monitoring. So we're everywhere today, and it's been incredible. Thank you to the crew. Will y'all give some love to the crew? Thank you to all my Spanish-speaking translators, Dolores and everybody else who translated this week. Guys, this is unbelievable. We're getting started, but I wanted to give some love. It is the top of the hour. No more messing around. If this is your first day or your 9th day, regardless, it's the final day. It's the final day. And what I'm going to do is I've got 60 minutes to recap the entire thing. This should actually be 40 hours because I counted it. I need the whole screen, guys. 40 hours. This is 40 hours of recap in 1 hour today. 1 hour. We're going to identify the major speaker takeaways. Every single speaker, we've got a golden nugget from all 40 of them. I'm saving you 40 hours today. So if this is your first day, welcome. If it's your 9th day, welcome. And if somewhere in between, welcome. How many days have you been here? And I'm curious if there's anybody bold enough to say this is day 1. I want to know it's day 1 because if it's day 1, I love it. You're about to be blessed today because I wouldn't take the 40 hours back for anything because the stuff I gained this week. However, I'm going to break it all down for every single person that's here today with us, and we're literally going to cover it all. I'm going to give lots of prizes away. Julie, we're going to do that after the hour, Julie, so I need the team to let me know how we're picking prizes and find that out. I know they're navigating that, and so this is the intention of today. So if this is your first day, you're in the right spot. Because what I'm about to do is I'm about to give you the nugget of all 40 plus of these speakers. All 40 of them. And you're like, wow, okay. And I'm going to do it in the 6 pillars that I talked about this week. The clarity pillar, the communication pillar, the product pillar, the stages pillar, the revenues pillar, and the scale pillar. But we're going to start with the foundational pillar. Every one of their nuggets will fall back into one of those pillars or foundation. And today is going to be a profound day because 40 hours over the course of the last week Now, I want to tell you what, we got a goal. We got a goal to give back $1 million to charity, a goal to give back $1 million to charity, and I believe we can hit that, and I'll talk more about that after I'm done training today, and I hope that you've contributed to giving back to us hitting $1 million, and last year we gave $750,000, but this whole week has been about building your platform. Building your platform. Your platform is a raised and elevated surface on which people or things can take a stand. A place where your message, your impact, and your income is amplified for a purpose greater than yourself. Oh, it's all about impact? Yeah, it's about impact, but not without income. Because you can't have a greater impact if you don't have income to be able to do it. Yes, I know miracles can happen, but I'm not here to have you trust in like miracles for your platform. I want you to trust on things that are solid and proven. And that's what this week has been about, is helping people build their platforms in these 6 areas. And one of the biggest lies that is told to you is that you're one whatever away from building the biggest business, and that's BS. I've been guilty of that. That's marketing talk. Sorry, it's not true. There's 6 pillars. And today, I have 5 speaker nuggets or more in each of these 6 pillars. And I've got about 10 in the foundation pillar, which is you. 40 hours in 1 hour. I'm looking at the clock, 40 hours in 1 hour. This is not one of the recordings that you get if you bought the recordings of this. You don't get this recording. So you're in the right spot today. You're in the right spot today. So as you compartmentalize, this is what I'm going to ask you to do today. I'm going to start with the foundation, and I'm going to give you the 12 nuggets from yesterday. 12 nuggets from yesterday. And I'm going to ask you a question when I'm done with foundation. Rate yourself in this area. 1 being low, 10 being high after we go through it. And then I'm going to ask you to pick 1 nugget in foundation that you are committed to. Then I'm going to go to the clarity bucket, and there's about 5 in the clarity bucket. And I'm going to ask you to rate yourself at the end and pick 1 nugget from the clarity bucket that you're committed to. Then I'm going to go to the communication bucket, and I'm going to give you the 5 takeaways from speakers who spoke there. Rate yourself and pick 1 nugget. Same with products, same with stages, same with revenues, same with scale. So how many nuggets will you walk away today with? Let me see it in the chat. If you're really with me today, I want to see how many nuggets. Nope, close, not 6, 7. 7. Who got 7? I think the first person to get 7 in Zoom, let's give them some prize. We'll figure out a prize. They're winning one of our prizes at the end because they're engaged, they're commenting, they're connected. You're going to have 6 in the pillars and 1 in the foundation. The pillars are the strategies and tactics that all 40 speakers talked about, which I'm about to cover all 40 like this. But a platform will come crumbling down if you and me don't take care of ourselves. It'll come crumbling down. So does this sound amazing? Like, is this cool? Like, you guys excited about this? 1 hour? Sally, you not excited? Okay, I can end it, Antoine. I don't have to move forward. My team has been working through the night to pull video clips. So we'll have some video clips and some nuggets in each pillar, a combination of both. And so my encouragement to you today, do we have a worksheet, Julie? I know Pat and the team got a worksheet ready. Yep. Where do they get that? It's on the page? Okay, check this out. It's dropping in the chat. You better be on Zoom backstage with us, but we'll also drop it on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere. There's the worksheet. There's the worksheet in the chat. Click it, download it. We'll keep dropping it. Please don't ask. Tell somebody if they asked. They already dropped it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It's in the chat. You get this worksheet for being live with us today. The intention of the worksheet, check me out. I can see if you're looking at me, let me see who that is. Gene, I see you. Eyeball to eyeball, Gene Hansen. I see you right now. I'm looking at your eyes. This is what I'm going to ask you to do. As I go through every pillar, Pascal, as I go through every pillar, write all of the nuggets so that when it comes time to choose one nugget, you know which one to choose. That's the intention of that worksheet. And if you can't get the worksheet downloaded, just write it on a piece of paper. Just write it on a piece of paper. Write all of the nuggets so that you can make a decision of one nugget that you will choose. Everybody clear? Let me see if there's any questions because I got to get rolling, but I want to make sure this makes sense. I'm looking at the chat. Team, in the chat, if you see any questions of confusion, I don't want confusion starting the day off because I got to move fast. I need people to be clear and have clarity. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, tag somebody on this. Share this with your Facebook group. Share this with your friends on Facebook. Because today, you're saving them 40 hours in now what's 51 minutes until I've got to be done. 51 minutes. So as long as I'm sticking to 51 minutes, like you're about to save them 40 hours and give them a lot of amazing golden nuggets. If you don't know me, the reason why I care about your platform is because I grew up with a very strained relationship with my pops right here. My grandmother took me away from my dad when I was in 6th grade because of the physical and verbal abuse that I faced as a kid. And this man, whose daughter was the first victim killed at Columbine, came into my hometown. And he shared his message. And when he shared his message, my dad was in the audience. And he said, you never know, parents, how much time you have left here with your kids. He goes, tonight, I want you to go tell your kids how much you love them. And some of you parents need to go ask your kids for forgiveness. And that night, my dad went and wrote me a letter, and he said, I'm sorry for the father I've been. Here my son is having an impact on hundreds of kids' lives, and I can't have an impact on my only son's life. I'm asking you for a second chance to do things right. And he told me when I was 23 years old, the youth pastor at this little West Texas town that brought that speaker in, he told me he was sorry. And from that day forward, he has been the greatest father and greatest grandfather to walk this planet. I spoke to him last night, told him I can't wait to see you, Pops. This is my dad at Grant Cardone's event 3 years ago in front of 30,000 people, hearing me share that story for the first time ever as they put him up on the big screen at Miami Marlins Stadium. And he was in tears. And the audience was in tears because I got to honor the father he is today. Why do I fight for your platforms? Ever since that day, I have been the leading authority on helping people build their platforms in the world. Yes, I work with all of the biggest names, but I also work with everyday people just like you and me, entrepreneurs, not household names, but people who have a message that can make an impact on this world. But they cannot control the microphone, and their message cannot make an impact if they don't build the platform. And so what did we help this man do? We helped him build a platform. He was about to give up. He was about to shut his doors down. He had went from $150,000 in revenues to $50,000 in revenues and didn't know what to do. And we came in. And we didn't just step in and make him one of the biggest programs in K through 12 school systems in America and Canada. We took him from $50,000 to $7 million in annual revenues, income. We took him from impacting thousands of kids to impacting millions of kids, with a teen suicide being prevented every day and a school shooting being prevented every month or two. Impact. Income and impact with his message because we built his platform. He was the first customer we had. And this year, we will most likely cross 100,000 customers in the last 5 years that we have helped build their platforms, generate close to $1 billion for them, and impact hundreds of millions of people's lives. That's why I put this tour on. That's why I've been in the studio for 40 hours, not being able to tuck my kids in too often this week. I leave tonight on fall break with my family tonight, but that's why I have been committed to this, because it all starts with somebody who impacted my relationship with my dad. Guess what? You have something in you that is going to impact people's lives on a deeper level, but you have to understand how to build your platform so you can control the microphone and change our world. And that's what this entire week was all about. So let's get rolling. I got 60 minutes, but I needed to tell you why I even care about a platform. So foundation. The foundation is you. Before I tackle the 6 pillars, I have to tackle you. How many of you were here yesterday? How many of you experienced these powerful speakers? Which 2 or 3 spoke to you the most? I'm just curious. Which 2 or 3 really had a deep impact on you? I want to know that. I've got about 50 minutes left. 50 minutes left. And don't worry, I'm going to get through this. Look at that. I can tell you all the tactics and strategies, and I'm going to give you about 30 nuggets of tactics and strategies, but not before I give you a dozen things that these speakers spoke about that were nuggets that made a big impact on me and my team, and I hope they made an impact on you. So I'm going to tell you the nuggets from these 14. Wow, 14 people. I didn't realize it. I keep saying 12. 14. Guys, let's start with nugget 1. Amy Purdy. Would you roll the clip, team? Audio.
Somebody out there is literally waiting for you to show up and to show them the way. And the rest of your story is waiting to get written.
Done, or did we lose it? Okay, gotcha. I want to make sure. Listen, the thing that stuck out to me, I had dinner with Amy Purdy. Amy Purdy is a Paralympian medal winner. She's helping train other medal winners out there. And she said, Pete, do you know the single thing? She's been on Dancing with the Stars. She's toured with Oprah. She's been an Olympian medalist with no legs. She's trained other Paralympians. They're going to have several Paralympians in February in the Olympics. And she said, do you know the thing that opened it up the most for me to get my message out there? I said, no. We had dinner with her 2 nights ago. She said, my story. The story for me is the lead domino. And she said, as soon as I took that story and I was on a TEDx talk, it opened up doors for me. My question to you today, that's my nugget for her. My question to you today is, how clear are you on your story, and how often are you sharing it? Many speakers this week said, share your story as much as you possibly can. Well, I want to take it a step deeper. You want to know why I build my platform in 5 short years to a multiple 8-figure company, to one of the fastest growing companies in America, 3 consecutive years? It's because I have a metric that most people don't have in their business. Amy has a metric that most people don't have in their business. It's how many times can I share my story every single week? And I keep track of it. The nugget from Amy is, how many times are you sharing your story? Because it will open up the door for you. The second nugget from John Acuff. I love this nugget, and I'm going to be going fast because I got to cover 40 speakers. So you're going to want to write this down on your worksheet. Team, drop it in the chat very often because we got thousands and thousands of people watching today. And I want to make sure they get access to that worksheet. So we're under foundation. We're not under clarity, guys. Come on now. I need you staying with me, being clear today. We're in the foundation bucket. The foundation is you. Foundation is you. John wrote a book called Soundtracks. And he said, there are these soundtracks that you're programmed to think, and we have to delete them and build a new one. Great thoughts become great actions. Retire broken soundtracks and replace them with new ones and hit replay. That is my biggest nugget from John Acuff yesterday. What soundtrack has been most detrimental and playing for too long in your mind? Which one? Which one? That's nugget number 2 out of foundation. Nugget number 3 out of foundation. I love Margarita. Let's roll with Margarita's soundbite here.
Your mind is your sacred space. Do not rent it out to people that are negative, destructive memories or negative thoughts. Just raise the rent and kick them out and advance your reach with emotional intelligence.
Listen, I got to have short and sweet nuggets because I got 40 speakers to cover. Too many of you have been renting your mind out to other people. They're walking around your mind with dirty feet. And they're walking around, and you're letting them walk around. You're letting them walk around. And one of the things Margarita said yesterday to me, she said it to all of you, but she said it to me, is it's not the things that happen to you, it's the way that you interpret those things that allows the impact in your mind to grow. And so I want to ask you the question, what are you doing to interpret things that allows it to grow in your mind? To grow in your mind. Raise the rents. Raise the rents. And so team, let's go to this next one here on the screen. Jim Quick. Jim Quick. How many of you loved Jim Quick yesterday? Incredible, incredible, around the brain. The biggest mistake you can make is downgrading your dreams to meet your current situation. Upgrade your mindset, your motivation, and your methods to transform your brain to see the situation different so you can achieve your dreams. Too many of you are downgrading dreams to where your current situation is. I'm going to tell you one of the differences that I've learned and that some of you I want to learn is I'm in situations right now that are very difficult for me. Very difficult. There's some situations in my life that are very, very difficult. But what I've grown to learn about me, you matter. You are the foundation to your platform. And what I've learned about me is I'm not allowing my future dreams to be dictated by my current situations. I'm always upgrading my dreams. If you know what my dreams are for 2022, you would be like, wow. And don't always share your dreams with everybody because there's a lot of people who will go kill them and bring you back into your current reality. That was my nugget from Jim Quick. 4th nugget. 5th nugget from the foundation. We're in foundation. I hope you're writing these down in the foundation. I hope you are. Who's writing all of these down in the foundation? The 5th one, protect your sphere of confidence. This is one of my favorite ladies, man. Just look at her. Beautiful. Beautiful human being, inside and out. She's streaming this to her group all week long because she wants her group, her fans, her followers to have millions of dollars of value, which is what it would have cost to have all of these speakers in the same room. Protect your sphere of confidence. Become strong enough to know who to keep and who to cut from your inner circle. Know who those are who understand the power of supporting you, and you will let you fly. Let me tell you something today. You want to know why I have more confidence than I've ever had? Protecting my confidence is one of the most important things that I have in my life. Confidence creates. Lack of confidence loses. Lack of confidence, I find myself losing. With confidence, I find myself creating whatever I want to create. The best marriage, the best father. You know what I did this morning? On the biggest day, this is our biggest day of platform tour. More people watching today than any other day. You know what I did this morning? I went and took my son somewhere at 10 o'clock this morning. That was very important. I went and picked him up at school at 9:30. I took him. I hung out with him. I had conversation with him. You know why? Because I'm confident. I have confidence. I have confidence, and my confidence allows me to be able to be the best father, the best husband. My wife gave me a compliment a couple of days ago. She said, do you realize this big change that you've made in the last year, 2 years in this one area of life? It goes back to my confidence. And what Gloria's quote says up there, and I'm staying here for a minute because, man, this is so important. The people you surround yourself with dictate the level of your confidence. If you're around people who are negative, fearful, just dissension, talking about somebody else, cutting other people down, and not dreaming big, you're losing confidence and you don't even realize it. Keith Yackey, I love you, bro. You build my confidence up. Brian Kim, I love you. You build my confidence up. Daniel Grothy, I love you. You build my confidence up. Kim Vargas, I love you. You are the number one contributor to my confidence outside of my relationship with my God. Confidence is everything. And I could go on and on with some of my friends, but who are the people in your sphere, and are they building your confidence up? Or are they tearing you down? Here's one who builds me up. Daniel Grothy. This nugget was a nugget that I got directly from God that I feel like all of you were supposed to hear. A generous person will prosper, and the one who refreshes will be refreshed. This is living within a framework of abundance and not a framework of scarcity. The man you see behind me is the man, the human that loves greater than any other human I know, like it to everybody. The way that he treats people is so profound. He is so generous. He is so giving, which is the definition of his nugget today. And you know what? When the church went through a scandal with our pastor, and the church had a gunman come in and shoot people, and the budgets were cut, the people left, staff was laid off, this man went and just loved people. Our pastors loved people. They went and served the community. They went and did things for people. They were generous. They didn't pull back and shrink. They were generous. And the church today has went from almost $30 million in debt to being debt-free in the next year to two. They're under $10 million. Because of this. We got too many takers in this world. We need more givers. We need more generosity. I love that nugget. The next nugget from foundation. By the way, if foundation is the key to the pillars, we're going to have more nuggets in this. The pillars only have 4 or 5. But the thing that gets in the way is the foundation, which is you, which is why yesterday was such a profound day. Alex Morton, the way you see yourself is the way the world sees you. Build a winning self-image in your mind. Let me ask you a rhetorical question right now. In the domain of how you see yourself in your business and building your platform, just in that domain, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself powerful or powerless? Do you see yourself as a victor, or are you always telling the victim story of why you can't invest in yourself? Some of that rubs some people wrong, and I'm glad. Because Garrett White's talk is being watched a lot because of him rubbing you. Do you see yourself as a creator or just living in your comfort zone and being comfortable? Do you see yourself in action, or are you just apathetic and never take action and just show up and never get coaching and mentors? Are you being coached, or are you just sitting on the couch trying to do it all on your own? How do you see yourself? It's a powerful nugget. The next nugget, Craig Ballantyne. Woo, this was good. You don't find time for anything in your life. You'll never find it. You make time. You don't find time, you make time. Gosh, this was so good. I shot him a video today. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know what? Right now in the next month, and actually this weekend as I go on a getaway, I'm going to determine what's the most important stuff in my life in 2022. And then my calendar will dictate what's important. A lot of you say, I don't have time, I don't have money. Guess what? You're wasting time, you're wasting money. You've been surfing the internet or being a consumer and scrolling through social media this morning where you could have already been putting some of the practices to play. Not all of you, but some of you got to go make the time for the things that are important. Make time for your mission. Make time for your mission. The next nugget, I love Jen Gottlieb. This beautiful human being has created all of her wildest dreams. Being on TV, the man of her dreams, the business of her dreams, helping her clients. She gave us the dream framework. She said, you've got to trick your subconscious mind with visualization using the law of attraction. Make opportunities that lead to your dreams more prevalent and obvious. And make sure you stay up here for a little bit, team, because people are writing this down. So we got to give them some space to write this down. Right? Am I right? Am I serving you guys with that? I just got to make sure. Yeah, I saw a few comments on that. So let's leave it up there for a little bit. Here's what I want you to know. Jen walked us through a 90-second visualization of our ideal day. I'm curious. I told you guys I was going to go home and do a 10-minute version. I did a 10-minute version. I didn't do it last night because I was exhausted. I did it this morning. And I saw my ideal day. And I saw my ideal body. Like from a physicality of where I want to be. Some of you said you were going to do it with me, did you? Trent Shelton said, when he steps foot anywhere, he's already visualized, he's already been there 5 times in his mind. Did you catch that? He's already been there 5 times before in his mind. So when he gets there physically, it's not strange to him. How many of you are really visualizing what you want to see? Holton Buggs, to be a great leader, create an environment of equity, not equality. He's talking about the domain of business here, and he was clear on that, so that everyone will have the opportunity for a similar outcome based on the effort they apply to the environment you create. Like building your platform, here's the reality. Everybody has equal equity, like equity. And some people take the equity and run with it, and they're hungry. And others make excuses. And will blame and throw accusations and stones, and all of a sudden they're not hungry. There's no hunger to them. They're blaming everybody else. Do you know how I know this? There were people who said, you took that day's recording down too fast. That's not fair. Do you know what's not fair? that you wouldn't invest $67 to buy the recordings that was all going back to charity. You weren't hungry enough to invest $67. Only 4% of people invested $67 to get millions of dollars of lifetime access to the recordings of this. Where are the other 96% of you at? Well, you're charging. It cost over $1 million to put these last 8 days on. You don't have an equitable mindset. Your mindset has got to shift. I'm telling you this as a leader. Holton doesn't look at people and say, it's about equality, it's about equity. Who are the people that are willing to invest and be hungry, and not just money, but also time? Those rub me wrong when I see those. I gotta tell you this. I gotta let my brain not leak, because I'm like, $67, and you could have access to the lifetime recordings. You've got to invest. You've got to be hungry. Les Brown's talk on being hungry. I want people who are hungry. I'm going to tell you right now, and I can see in the midst of this tour the people who are hungry even on my team, who are serving you. I go into the Facebook group and I'm like, yes, 3 of the top 10 contributors are from my team. Why? Because they're there to serve you. Wow, my team picked up the call on Monday and called thousands of our VIPs to say, we're sorry for the tech issues. Here's the 2 gifts that we're giving to you, only if we had your number. That's being hungry. There ain't nobody that you've ever gotten a phone call because of a mishap on a $67 investment. You'll be lucky to get on the phone with somebody for a $10,000 investment because they don't have phone lines. When I stepped in building my platform, I said, we will have a phone that our customers can always talk to somebody. Some of the biggest things out there right now, you can't do anything but email support. Like, we're hungry. We're a company that's hungry. It's one of our core values. Holton leads people who are hungry, willing to make the investment. I know I went off on a tangent there. I hope that didn't, and if that rubbed you wrong and you left, Donna, was that good, Donna? I hope that was good. Nick, man, I love Nick. I'm living a lot in foundation here. If you had a bad experience that has left you with the belief that holds you back, be persistent enough to go have another experience that changes that negative view to a positive one. Design the rules of your life. No arms. No legs. 1 arm, 1 finger. The Rock sees him in the gym and is deeply inspired because he makes no excuses. He redesigns his experience. Like, some of you got to take some of those past wounds and redesign the new win. You've got to take a wound and go redesign a win. Got a couple more. Ivan Tapia said personal development means challenging your fears and doubts and helping the leaders who also challenge those fears and obstacles, and then being open to celebrating other people's victories. Here is my nugget out of that. What are you doing to celebrate your own victories? You don't celebrate enough. Like, celebrate something right now. Celebrate something right now from these last 8 days. Or if today's your first day, say, I'm so glad I'm here. I'm getting all 40 people in an hour, or maybe 70 minutes. We'll see. But celebrate others. Celebrate yourself. Did anybody see how I started off today? Did anybody see how I started off today? How did I start off today? Not just celebrating you. Who did I start with? Yeah, celebrating them. Them. You went backstage with me. If you were late, they got to see all of the team who was responsible for everything you see. And I can see all of you. I can see your comments. Celebrate yourself and celebrate others. Thank you, Ivan, for that. Bethany Hamilton, we're almost done with Foundation. Let's roll it.
One thing that we need more of is just honesty, like being honest and real with people. And I don't know, I think the term vulnerability is thrown out a lot. And I think in some sense, having a little bit of vulnerability, depending on the space that you're sharing it in. And I think being willing to ask for help, I've had to ask for help a lot, and I'm going to continue to ask for help. And just being persevering and being passionate, like letting it be focused on the things you're passionate about, because when you're passionate about it, you'll be able to persevere for it.
I'm going to roll here, but I want to tell you what I loved about Bethany is her passion for the things that matter to her. She had her arm bit off by a shark. Who's watched the movie Soul Surfer? Anybody by chance? Her arm bit off by a shark, and less than a month later, she's in the water. Some of you have got to start establishing a little bit more passion for your platform. That when crap hits the fan, because of your passion for it, you don't give up, but you keep moving forward. Last one, Mr. Trent Shelton, out of the Foundation, which is you. I'll try to jam on the 6 pillars, but I had 14 speakers to cover here, and this is the most important. The Foundation is you. Let's play Trent.
And those are things that I do, right? 5. Stop trying to be perfect. I get in my heart. I visualize vividly. I remind myself of my greatness, and I pray. Those are things that I do that has really helped me become this extroverted introvert, and has helped me become a voice in this generation that's impacting a lot of people. So just because you're introverted doesn't mean you can't give your voice to the world.
I had to go get a little drink backstage, real talk here. So a lot of people think because they're introverted, they can't give their voice to the world. How many introverts do I have out there? Donna, I don't know if you're an introvert. How many introverts do I have? A lot. Trent thought he was going to be a professional athlete for a long time, and he had a fear of public speaking. But his message was bigger than his fear. Is your message bigger than your fear? I'm curious today. I'm going to practice this once. Team, drop the worksheet because we got the 6 pillars left. Drop the worksheet. I want to make sure they can see everything or see everybody in the back. I guess I can't really sit down too much, but yeah, there we go. So, in the Foundation, I want to ask you a question. How solid are you? In your mind? In your emotions? Wait for a second. Think about this. In your health. Taking care of you, growing you, personal development, spiritual development, powerful creator in this world. 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself? Man, if you're rating high, that's going to tell me that you got a powerful platform. So if you rated 9, where are your revenues? Because if your rating is that high, your revenues should match up with it. That's where sometimes we fool ourselves. I'm talking about as a powerful creator. You as a powerful creator. You are creating the dreams and desires that God has put in your heart. You're creating them. You're not just thinking about them. They're actually happening. I used to read my Bible and pray a lot, but I wasn't creating in this world. Yeah, does that shift the way that you write that number? I'm talking about you as a powerful creator. If this rating is high, your results should look very high in what you've created. Just being honest. Just being honest. And then the last question, and you won't ever have to have this many. I think the biggest in any pillar is 5. Which 3? This is the only time I'm letting you pick 3 because there's 14 up there. Which 3 nuggets from the above folks, can see Jen's name behind me, which 3 nuggets are the nuggets that you're going to take away from Platform Tour and focus most on in you? Somebody said HB, Gloria, and Nick. Jen, Craig, and Trent. Amy, Gloria, and Alex. Margarita, Trent, and Amy. Trent, Amy, and Jen. Pick you. Do you. Don't do somebody else. Victor from my Spanish-speaking room. Which 3? Let them know, Dolores. Which 3, Victor? Victor Kadima. Which 3? Make a decision here. If you can't make a micro decision, how are you going to make a decision when you leave here? Michelle R., I don't think that's Michelle, but Michelle R., did you make a decision? You got it? Ann, did you make your decision? Barbara? Jeff? Jonathan? Make sure on your worksheet that you write your rating as a rating in this bucket and the 3 that you're deciding on. The 3 that you're deciding on. And if you don't have the worksheet, just write it on a piece of paper. See, some of you get stuck because you're like, I can't do it because I don't have the worksheet. How do I know that? That used to be me. I'd be the person complaining in the chat, where's the worksheet? Where's the worksheet? I can't do the activity. Yeah, you can. It's called a piece of paper. I'm speaking to a former version of Pete Vargas. If Pete can't be a powerful creator in that, how is he going to be a powerful creator in making sure 1 million entrepreneurs' platforms are built? I know I've spent 30 minutes in the foundation and I need to spend it here because I'm reminded of the incredible day. For all of you that weren't here yesterday, I saved you 6 hours. You're welcome. Not really. I think if you were here, you probably even got a greater experience. I hope everybody did that. Cool. Now we're moving to the 6 pillars. 6 pillars. Team, drop the worksheet in the chat because we've got clarity, we've got communication, we've got products, we've got stages, we got revenues, and we got scale. And I just went through 14 speakers. I only have 26 speakers left. Like, I almost got halfway there in foundation because you are the foundation. You have got to get you out of the way. And we got to get that powerful creator coming out of you. That powerful creator. All right. You rated it. You chose one. Now we're moving to clarity. Here are the speakers that we're going to cover in clarity. And I'm going to ask you to really focus on one. We just did foundation, everybody. Make sure if anybody's asking a question, serve them in the chat, okay? We just did foundation. Now we got the 6 pillars. These are the strategies and the tactics. 40 hours that we're going in. 1 hour and 10 minutes, okay? I'm up 10 minutes, and I know the team is not surprised by that, but that's okay. Still a lot faster. Here's the 6 nuggets. You ready for them? Nugget 1, Rory Vaden. Personal branding is the digitation of reputation. People don't buy what you do, they buy who you are. Use your platform to show them who you are and build trust. You know what I loved about Rory? Is the data is out. People buy from people they trust with their personal brand. How much attention have you paid to building up your personal brand? And if you haven't, that might be the nugget that you need. Nugget 2, Steve Weatherford, I love this. I called him Super Bowl MVP. He was the punter for the Giants in 2008 and 9 and 10 and 12. Super Bowl champion, not MVP. The launch pad on which you start will determine the vector on which you achieve your goals. The launch pad of your platform consists of, here you go. I'm summing up his 30-minute talk in one soundbite. Who I am, your identity. Whose am I? What drives you? What matters most? Your core values. You saw Steve Weatherford and Tim Tebow know their core values like that. Do you know your core values? And discipline. Stick strong to it. The launching pad is who am I, who I am, whose am I, what matters most, and discipline. Some of you don't have this, and therefore you don't have your launching pad. If you see a longer quote that you might take a time to write, you might want to take a picture with your phone of the quote, because I'm not going to move. I got to move here. The third one, man, this is important. Tommy talked about what not to do with starting your platform. Here is the biggest thing. Procrastination, making your business official. Do you know what I'm glad? And he also said analysis of paralysis and unfamiliarity with liabilities and tax strategies. You want to know one of the most powerful things I did back in 2007? Was I actually made my LLC and my S-Corp official. I didn't wait. If I waited, I'm not going to move in it at the same pace. Yes, it cost me thousands of dollars, but the tax breaks I got and the commitment I had. By making myself official, Eternal Ventures is my official LLC, because I'm all about ventures that will impact eternity, impact forever. That's the behind the scenes of who Pete Vargas is. He's not about the temporary, the bling bling, the followers. He's about the things that make everlasting impact in the lives of people. He made it official, which made me buy into commitment. And Pete got tax benefits as a result. It cost me thousands of dollars to set up, but I did it. Some of you need to make yourselves official and your platform official today, because you haven't even done that baby step. You got to get clear on that. John le Carre said, humanize your products, know what the person needs and wants, implement that in your product. Actually, I'm going to pull this back, and Julie, make an adjustment to this. I'm going to pull this back because this is about products. I'm going to speak about something else on this. John le Carre said he is part of a $500 million, I'm making an audible because something's coming up right here and I need you to know this. $500 million company on their way to $1 billion in sales. $1 billion in sales. John le Carre is the number 2 person. The number 2 person. And for several years, the number 1 person was trying to get his interest of please come help me, join me, get behind my platform, help me build it. We're going to change the lives of people. And finally, the number 1 started speaking in such a passionate, profound way where it caught John's attention. John went to join them, and they are on their way to building a $1 billion platform. They're already at like $600 million last year. How passionate are you speaking around your elevator pitch? Because if you're not passionately speaking around your elevator pitch, you aren't going to get people to follow you. And then last in the clarity bucket, we went through clarity pretty fast. I love this, is Damon John. Let's hear, or we got 2 more. Let's hear Damon John.
Get out and do it. It's authenticity. Do not do anything because you feel that that's what people want to see and or is going to make you look good, because people can also see through it and through you. But it has to come from a place of authenticity. And you don't have to care about how many people like it or dislike it. People are still watching you. They definitely still watch you. And then also, you follow people back the way they follow you. You give them the same value and the same respect that they give you. You are going to create an army of ambassadors that are absolutely untouchable. You know what I mean? That's how you grow your businesses. And I did a post the other day, said something of true leaders don't create followers, they create other leaders. And you share and be of service. When you are of service on any platform you are, and unfortunately, some people are like that in a negative way, but you can do it in a positive way. When you're of service, people want to fight for you. People really want to get behind people who are of service, and always look at everybody as your customer. Your friends are your customer, your employees are your customer, your boss is your customer, and of course your customer is your customer, right? And when you are of service, people want to fight for you.
Man, listen, Damon said, we talked a long time about being your authentic self, being you and creating leaders, not followers. If you can get clear on who your authentic self is and you'll stop trying to be everybody else. For too many years, I was trying to be everybody else. I mean, literally for the first year of building my platform, I was trying to be everybody else. And then I realized, no, I got to be me. And so I had to get clear on who I was. So who is your authentic self that is out to create leaders and not followers? Some of you need to get clear on that. And our last one in clarity is Mr. Garrett White.
At the end of this life and at the end of this journey, you're going to have to be face to face with you. And coming to love all aspects of who you are. I love my guy that's in the dark. I love my guy that's in the light. But I learned to love him, and I learned to own and build the businesses and empires that I have now, starting with one simple courage, and that was the courage to speak the truth. Speak the truth. In order to lead a movement, you must become the message of that movement. And in order to become the message of that movement, you must be willing to speak about the unspeakable. Your creation begins in night, and it's just waiting for you to speak light.
Man, he moved me deeply, man. I know for some of my fellow Christians in the house, because my relationship, this guy loves the Lord. And you might be like, he dropped 14 F-bombs, but man, he spoke truth. He spoke truth. Would I have him back on my platform? All day long. Because a lot of us can't even pull out the nuggets of truth, the truth. I believe everybody speaks some truth. I don't believe everybody speaks the complete truth. I think everybody speaks some truth. And some people speak a lot more truth than others. This is just my experience. And the reason why Garrett is so profound is because he loves every aspect of himself. And because he loves every aspect of himself, he is the message behind the movement, speaking the truth. Some of you aren't doing that. And you need to. So my question to you, in the clarity bucket, as you currently operate today, on clarity, on the problem you solve, who you serve, what you're passionate about, who you are, where would you rate yourself? No, where would you rate yourself? Follow the track with me. 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself? 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Everybody should give me a 1 to 10, and you can follow the 1 to 10 with the nugget of the person that you're going to follow the most out of this clarity bucket. So we'll start doing that next time, the rating and the nugget. Thank you for the first person that did that. Whoever was the first person in chat to do that, Leaf, the number and then the person, they're also going to get a prize at the end today. See, I saw 2 of you get frustrated by that. You're like, I already put my number. If I would have known, don't get frustrated over that. Let me tell you why I did. I can see you and you're smiling at me now. But the reason I did that is because I want to recognize and honor people who are a demonstration of the instruction that I gave a little bit late right there. Don't let that get in your head. I'm trying to show, it's like engagement matters to me with this because I know by you entering something, you're making a commitment today. Man, incredible. Number and nugget. Rating and nugget. Rating and nugget. Don't let your mind get in the way. All right, let's go to the next bucket. Let's go to communication. You can see how we're getting less speakers now because we're in strategy. Communication, we've got 5 nuggets. 5 nuggets here. Nugget number 1 from Ray Higdon, serve who you used to be. Whatever you work through, help someone else work through that. The path to unlimited content is ILTEE. I just summed up his 25-minute talk. Invest in your education, learn something from your education, teach other people it, go execute it, have people execute it, and edify those people who execute it. You could take and literally, today you're investing your time. You could go learn. You're learning right now. You could go teach. Tell them what you're going to execute. Ask them what they're going to execute. And then edify those who execute. And you've just created content. The most simple model to creating content right there. Simple. I love that. Love that. The next nugget, Chandler Bolt. You can outline your book in a weekend. Mind map everything you can think of around the topic, and the more you take your time with the mind map, the easier the writing of the book becomes. I want you to, if you want to write a book this next year, and you want to communicate a book to the world, I want you to get your mind map done in a weekend, because that will be the lead domino to communicating the book that you want to write. Velma, let's play Velma, team.
I just want you to share every day on your Instagram story, what are you doing with your business? So the moment that you implement this methodology, they're going to be open to listen to you and to buy from you.
The reason why Velma has so many followers is she is consistent with her content. There's some of you that have no consistency with content. None. Anybody think I've been pretty consistent the last 8 days? But that's not the only time. Do you realize that I have maybe 100 hours of paid content, but I have probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of free content? Some of you aren't being consistent with your content. The next person, we got 2 more in this bucket. Mr. Pat Quinn, let's play Pat. No video? All right. So here's what I want you to know with Pat. Pat preached this to me and I bought into it. Your signature talk is the greatest marketing tool you have. And when you build your signature talk, you will attract customers on demand. He believes you're 1 talk away from having your greatest marketing tool. Not the only tool you need, your greatest marketing tool. Because when you can communicate, Pat said when the common theme in everybody he works with is they all have different marketing strategies and tactics. Some do funnels, some do challenges, some do calls, some do ads, but they all know how to communicate and they all have 1 great talk. I'm very bullish on this because 1 great talk is what built this company for me. And then the final one, Mr. Tim Tebow, who deeply moved me in the communication pillar.
You see, I learned something from my dad when I was 8 years old. He just got back from the Philippines, and he went and he got a movie from Blockbuster back when there were Blockbusters, and he sat me and my 2 brothers down on the couch, and he stood up in front of the TV and he said, "Boys, I just want you to know I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you, and I know you all have goals and you're ambitious and you want to accomplish things in your life." He said, "I feel like it's my job as your dad to give you an edge, to give you an advantage so that you're not like everybody else." He looked at us and he said, "In a moment, I'm going to hit play on this movie, and I want you to watch the main character. I want you to study him. Because if you're willing to love whatever it is that you want to do, like the man in this movie, you will be different. You will be contagious. People will want to be around you." He said, "Second, if you have passion like the man in this movie, you will be different. You will be contagious, and people want to be around you. And third, if you're willing to sacrifice like the man in this movie, you will be different. You'll be contagious, and people will want to be around you." And then he sit down, and obviously I'm like salivating on the edge of the couch. Like, what movie did Dad pick? And then he hits play on the movie Braveheart. And yes, it was a little much for an 8-year-old. I'll give you that. My mom was mortified. She's like, Bob, what are you showing the kids? And he's like, it's okay. They need to have courage, you know? And so I watched this movie, and ever since then, it's been my favorite movie. And it wasn't just that night, but my dad would be dropping me off at practices or picking me up for games or day camps or church or Sunday school or whatever. And he would remind, hey, Timmy, you really love what you're doing? I would say, yeah, Dad. See, you passionate about it? Dad, you know I am. You willing to sacrifice? Come on, Dad. Of course you know I am. You see, but why I say that is because then my dad would say, how many people, Timmy, do you know that live that way? What if you live that way, Timmy? How many people could you impact?
What if you become one of those people who passionately communicate the way that Tim Tebow communicates? He ties right back into Pat Quinn. The reason I put him right after Pat Quinn is if you will be able to become a passionate communicator with a phenomenal talk, you will become contagious. Not contagious in a negative way, contagious in a powerful way. There's plenty of negativity contagious right now, but what if you became contagious in a powerful way? You've got to become an incredible communicator. You've got to become an incredible communicator. Right back here, guys. 5 people, what is your rating? How powerful of a communicator are you today? If I get any 9s and 10s, that means you've got the biggest platform out there, because Pat Quinn would say, you give me a 9 or a 10, you have as many customers as you need. You're just trying to look for some more strategies. And which person really resonated? I'm not asking you to pick your fan favorite or who invited you. I'm asking you to pick the nugget that you need in your business. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. All right, products. Products. We've got 5. This is a 4th out of 7 products. Hey, can I ask, obviously, this is the first time I've seen the presentation. I looked at it this morning. I apologize. I've got 5 minutes left, and I'm just going to ask for a little extension of 15 to 20 minutes. Is that okay? Is that okay? I'm covering a lot. I'm covering 40 hours. I should have stuck with the 90 minutes. Originally, you might remember me saying 40 hours and 90 minutes. So now it's going to be more like 40 hours and 80 minutes. So we'll see if I can beat the 90-minute mark. 5 people talked about products and services. Zig Ziglar said, if you don't have products and services, you can't change people's lives. It's not you talking that changes their lives. It's when they buy your products and services. So there were 5 folks here. Russ Ruffino said, positioning, offer, and pricing are all based on the value and of the outcome that you can deliver. For all of you that think somebody has to have ROI to buy a high-ticket offer, you're wrong. Because what is a saved marriage worth? He asked that question. Russ believes that everybody should have a high-ticket offer in their business that gives value, that helps get an outcome. I tend to agree with him. I really do. Russ has one talk that has done the $50 or $60 million in revenues that his company has had. One talk. Nugget 2. Angelique Ruhr said, tweak your mindset into realizing that you are really in the business of marketing conversations. You have to win a conversation with the decision makers. Big business happens in small rooms. So get in those rooms and figure out what they need and how you can win that conversation. She was speaking about this in the domain of consulting. Russ advocated for group coaching. Angelique advocated for consulting. Consulting was the #1 revenue source, new revenue source for our company in 2020. And it's one of the biggest revenue sources in 2021. And it happens in small rooms with few decision makers. And she's exactly right. That's how it's happened for us. Jack Fallon, I love this, $500 million platform, who passionately wants to change people's health. He said, humanize your products. Know what the person needs and wants and implement that in your product. The best products provide a feeling. A feeling. Know what your customers want. The biggest mistake I made out of the gates is I designed products thinking I knew what they wanted. And then when I started to ask them, they told me. Humanize your products. Last couple. Pete Vargas, helping you understand the perfect product suite and the product pyramid. Write this down if you want to see transformation. And guys, don't start the clock. Write this down if you want to see transformation. Poverty, mindset, thinking. How do I know it? Because I come from it. Spends time to save money. Poverty mindset thinking spends time to save money. Wealthy mindset thinking spends money to save time. It seems very subtle, but it's very big. It's very big. Seems very subtle, but it's very, very big. Listen, one of the things I want to make sure, and I said this, is I want people investing in your products and services. And I believe that every business owner should have a low ticket, a mid ticket, and a high ticket product. And some of you, we do. Grant Cardone does. And if you looked at several of our speakers over the course of this week, they do. But the question is, do you? And here's what I want to say. When it comes to resonating with another person's product or service, when it aligns for me, early on in my career, I wouldn't make the investment. I would allow my scarcity mindset to talk me out of it and say, I'll just go figure it out on my own. And the big shift in my career came when I started making the investment in other people's products that aligned with me. Like, I aligned with them. If I don't align with them, I don't invest. Write that down. If you don't align with somebody, don't invest with them. But when you align, I started to invest. And what I saw was the same approach happen for me in people that would do the same on this side. When I was scarce over here, I experienced scarcity from my buyer because subconsciously that's who I was being. When I started thinking about investing in other people's product suites, all of a sudden I started experiencing many people investing in ours. Man, it's a big, big deal. Big, big deal. Last one here. Jesse Itzler. I love, love, love this clip.
You know, only one person can be the richest. Only one person can be the best looking. Only one person can have the most followers, but anybody can care the most. Anybody can care the most. And I built businesses on caring the most. Like, with my friends in my inner circle, caring oozes out of me, man. Like, it just does. And whenever I think about my platform, and again, I'm not talking about social, I'm talking about all my outputs, all my interaction with people, my meetings with people, how I treat my family, my one-on-one relationship with my dad. This is all part of me and my platform. It comes down to authenticity, and it comes down to how I show up.
Man, I hope you're hearing the common themes that people are saying. I've now heard authenticity in 3 different nuggets today. But do you care the most? I pride myself on caring the most. So in the products and services, you got to ask yourself the question, where do you rate yourself right now in your products and services that you're taking out to the world? Where do you rate yourself, and which person or nugget are you committed to committing to? Hey, make sure you hear all of the nuggets before you start. A lot of you were rating them before you even heard Jesse's nugget. You're actually missing out on your greatness because you're so distracted and so busy and thinking about how can I win the prize? How can I be one of the ones that wins the prize? And a lot of you laughed because that's exactly why you went early. But you didn't even hear the nugget from a billionaire. You didn't even hear the nugget from a billionaire. Like, I'm getting you out of your way because I was the biggest thing prohibiting me from going to the next level of my platform until I started transforming this and was willing to invest. Like, things began to shift. All right, fourth bucket, stages. I know Pete spoke a few times, but I love this one. I spoke about OPSs. Sage Levine spoke about Facebook groups. John Lee Dumas spoke about podcasts. Sean Cannell spoke about YouTube. Stormy Wellington spoke about Instagram. And Jesse Ecker spoke about small virtual events. Pretty cool. I talked about all of them as a whole, the importance of getting on other people's stages, but also building one of your own. If you're not doing that good at all, but these people, all of these 5 powerhouses talked about one individually. And then Grant Cardone shared about how he's omnipresent. I'm going to go through this quickly. I'm going to go through this quickly. Sage. Content is a dime a dozen. You have to engage to stand out. Gamify to build engagement. She said in her Facebook group, she engages and she gamifies. You want to build an algorithm of a Facebook group that's hot to trot? Engage and gamify. Facebook groups. Love Sage. John Lee Dumas said, convert the converted. Get on other people's podcasts whose niche overlaps with yours. Use his perfect pitch template. Pitch 10 podcasts a day, and soon your schedule will begin to fill up. John Lee Dumas believes in the power of having one podcast yourself and getting on other people's podcasts. That's what he talked about. One of you won my podcast from using his perfect pitch. Congratulations. The power of podcasting. Sean Cannell said, YouTube is a search engine. 2.3 billion people go there to learn how to solve a problem. The ideal person you want to help is on YouTube and searching for you. The question is, do you have a YouTube channel that they can search? Powerful, powerful, powerful. Jesse Ecker, T. Harv Ecker's son, said, congruency with your offer really drives revenue and the right people to your platform. Build the offer first, which is a little product discussion, then build your platform to create urgency. Let me tell you what I love what Jesse did. Jesse went out this year and spread his wings to fly. He's been serving his dad, T. Harv Ecker, for a long time. This year he went to build his platform. He created one offer, and he got dozens of people on Zoom and delivered a one-day event on Zoom from one offer. Some of you need to do something like that. That's small. Doesn't have to be with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands like this. It can be with a dozen. Stormy Wellington. Let's roll the clip of Stormy.
When all y'all should be thinking is, how do I build my platform so nobody can tell me what to do with my time, with my health, with my family, with my decisions ever again, because I want to be free. That's the way you got to think about this platform. You invest as much as you can. You want to make $1 million one day? Find a way to invest $100,000 to $150,000 in your mind. Find a way. I'm telling you right now, when I made up in my mind that I was going to be a millionaire, and then when I made up in my mind that I was going to make $1 million a month, I started to find ways that I could invest in myself and the connections. You want to make $1 million a month, Stormy, it ain't going to come for free. It's going to come with a price.
She fires me up, man. She's one of the best speakers on the planet, but what she has done is built one stage. She built her Instagram account, has spent no money on paid advertising, all organic, from 0 to 1.1 million followers in the last 7 years. And that has generated millions of dollars for multiple businesses for her. I'm focused on Instagram this next year. Before I give the last soundbite, I didn't give my nugget in here, so I have a nugget. And my nugget is this: the power of being on other people's stages is one of the quickest paths to building your platform. To put on an event of your own takes a lot of work and a lot of time and some money. This one took over $1 million to put on. But to be on somebody else's platform, you just get to show up and deliver your talk. And they've done all the work, the time, and the money. I've been on his stage for the last 3 years. He spent $35 million on those last 3 years. I spent 0. I've generated thousands of customers and 8 figures from being on other people's stages. That's my nugget out of here. Let's get Grant's nugget, and then we'll go and we'll have final 2 things left.
The problem with the how is you're going to pick a vehicle that you're going to be dependent upon. And when that vehicle, in my case, it was TV. I wanted to be on the news. When that vehicle fails you, okay, you're going to like, okay, I can't get there. I can't be famous. I can't be known. I can't be omnipresent. So when I got out of, okay, I need to be on Fox or CNBC, or I need to be an expert on the business channel. When I got out of the how-to and said, hey, I am going to make my name known, consistent with, when I think sales, I think Grant Cardone. When I think real estate, I think Grant Cardone. When I think influencer, I think Grant Cardone. We've been through every one of these titles, by the way. Like I was so grooved in on sales, Pete, that I actually had to leave it because I was being typecast into a sales guy. So if you look at my career, I was typecasted as, well, first of all, I was nobody. Then I was typecasted as a sales guy. Then I moved over and got typecasted as a money guy. Then I got typecasted. Today, I'm probably typecasted as a real estate guy. And along the way, we've been typecasted as somebody that can fill up arenas with 35,000 people. I'm working right now on 50-year-olds and above. You're going to see me drop a whole bunch of video for people 50 years and older because we ignored that audience. And you'll see me start talking a lot about health, retirement, income, things that are happening to me right now, just what Sean was talking about. Like, you just got to find what you're good at and what you're terrible at and what you don't know anything about, and make a commitment to getting known for those things, because you're not going to figure out your message in the beginning. You do not know your message yet. Anybody that thinks they know their message right now, trust me, you do not know your messaging. Until you tell your story 10,000 times, you won't even know what people want to hear.
Dang! Whoa! Come on! Like, hey, that video clip right there, mic drop. There's 3 things he said that resonated with me. So I'm going to give you 3 nuggets from Grant. He's like, I just put myself out there on stages. I wasn't perfect. I just went and did it. The other thing he said is there's so many different industries, and you just start one industry at a time. That's what I've done with stages. I've started with one and I've transferred to others. And then we could have dropped him in the communication nugget. How many of you want us to help you figure out how to get your message dialed in and your story dialed in and not have to tell it 10,000 times? If you didn't raise your hand, you're trying to be scarce with your money and abundant with your time. You want to wait, you want to spend all of the time. Like, he's right. Most people don't get their message and their story figured out until they tell it 10,000 times. I don't think you have to tell it 10,000. I think we can cut it by 9,000, 9,500. Man, that was so good. All right, I probably gave you a lean towards Grant, but don't do that unless it resonates with you. What's your rating in eyeballs on you with other people's stages and your own stages? What's your rating? What's your nugget? Not 2 nuggets, not 3 nuggets, 1 nugget. And write your rating down and write your nugget down. Last 2. Looks like I've got 7 minutes. I will finish the teaching in 7 minutes. The teaching component. And then I've got a really cool gift, how to keep the momentum rolling at the very end. So make sure you're here live for that. Last two buckets. We got revenues and we've got scale. So lots of people talked about revenues. Lots of people talked about revenues. I'm going to sum these nuggets up really quickly. Really quickly. If you don't have revenues, you cannot build the platform and impact the amount of people's lives that your heart desires. You might be able to impact a few, but not for long and not many. Taylor Welch said, it's not your job to cater to the current version of that customer. It is your job to serve the future desired version of them. Your job is to figure out what they want and how to help them get there. When you're having a conversation, if you can identify the future version of who they want to be, not who they are today, and help them understand how you can get them to that future version, sales becomes easy. He's talking about this in terms of sales conversations. A lot of you sway away from sales conversations. He leans into them. Introvert, former pastor, made $15,000, $20,000 a year as a pastor, and now this year going to fall just shy of $100 million in revenues. Because he understands the future version of what people want. I've got a video of me here. It's time for all of you to marry Sam. And some of you right now aren't even engaged to Sam. You haven't even gotten engaged to Sam. And some of you haven't even taken a first date with Sam. Because you're scared of Sam. You're scared of Sam. And actually, I should have put that in red, because red is not what you want. You know, you're scared of Sam. You don't have the green. You've got the red. You're afraid. And so therefore, you never move the needle with your products and services because you're scared. And some of you might be saying, marry Sam. Yeah, I'm married to Sam. When you date Sam, you have one sales and marketing strategy in your business. That's working. When you get engaged to Sam, sales and marketing, you have two. And when you marry Sam, you have 3 sales and marketing strategies working. But a lot of people live in the fear of Sam. And I don't look at it as a Sam, I look at it as a relationship, because when I have a relationship with sales and marketing, I'm doing it from a place of service, knowing that if I don't get to that person, most likely they will be sitting here a year from now in the same place they're sitting today, because that's what the data and the stats show us. John Gordon talked about invest in one person at a time. When you love your audience, they love you back. It's not about you, it's about them. Check this out. John was an early adopter. John was an early adopter to email marketing. And now, because of email marketing, he's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that he can drop an email to and generate revenues just like that. He was one of the early adopters. And if you heard him, his focus this next year is on generating more email addresses. Email is not dead. It is one of the powerful strategies that some of you should consider. Rudy said, lifetime value is king. Always keep it in your mind. Put your customer into an ecosystem for them to unlock a lifetime value. You know, I hope for all of you thousands of VIPs, $67, I hope it's just the getting started with us. I hope you're in our ecosystem for a long time, and that means we served you powerfully for a long time. Lifetime value is king. When you're running Facebook ads, lifetime value matters. Lifetime value matters. Julie Stowen, got 2 more and we're done here. 2 more. Simply put, People get so confused by sales funnels. Sales funnels are a digital sales process. However, you need to take into account 3 things. You need to be more clear than clever. You need to be more patient than pushy. And you need to be more mindful, deep dive into the problem to find out what they will be excited to buy. And what happens is you put a sales funnel up and you send traffic to it and you do these things, people buy. Last night while I was sleeping, we had sales funnels that people were buying or opting in for a free gift or all of the above. That's the power of a sales funnel. And this is what she talked about. Last one for Sarah Blakely. I'm not going to roll a clip. I'm going to tell you what she said. She said, stop using the excuse that you don't have enough money to build a platform. Stop living in that narrative. Stop living in that story. I had $5,000 and a red backpack, and that's what allowed me to build $1 billion company. And she went on to say that what she did is she did grassroots strategies. She got in the room with people. She had conversations, and out of those conversations, that is what how she started a household brand in Spanx. Are you committed to grassroots? Grassroots. Those are our revenue strategies. Where do you rate yourself in revenues? And by the way, if you rate a 9 or a 10, you better have a lot of revenues. A lot, what matters to you. Like if you're like, man, I want to shoot for $250,000 and I'm doing 240,000, then yeah, you might be a 9 or a 10. But what is your rating? And what is the one that you've really got to focus on? Last thing, 40 hours in right now it's exactly 80 minutes. So I'm saving you a lot of time here. 40 hours, last nuggets. We're in the scale bucket. And I want you to know where I lived in the scale bucket. I lived in really about how to build relationships. Relationships scale. My team allows me to scale. The people who I surround myself allow me to scale. The people who I invest in, tomorrow I'll be in Arizona with my one-on-one coach who I invest in, allows me to scale. Watch what these 4 had to say about scaling. Dan said, your network is the fast forward button to anything you want at every level of your life. Strengthen and grow your network by hosting intimate parties within your niche and industry. And you will grow your brand and you will grow your business. Dan gave one of the most simple strategies, kind of like a Sarah Blakely strategy, is you can build your platform in your backyard, at a dinner party, at a cocktail party. You put it on. You're seen as the authority. And now all of a sudden you're launching it in your backyard. This nugget, I made a commitment that I would do with the faith-based mastermind that I'm going to launch next year. Brad Sumrock, this was one of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite nuggets. Find someone better than you are at something who has the heart of a teacher, and then check your ego at the door. The way you grow is by not letting your ego get in the way of listening. I also say the way you grow is not allowing your ego to think I can do all of this on my own. He is one of my greatest students. You heard him say on camera, we took him from $1 million events, stuck at $1 million events, and did a $3 million event and a $4 million event for him this year with his platform. Why? Because he made an investment into mentors. Does anybody remember what he said publicly on Saturday, how much he's invested into us this year? Does anybody remember that? I want to give over $1 million. Make sure Scott Brandon Hoffman gets one of our prizes, team. Over $1 million this year because of the way that we've helped him. But he was willing to make that investment. Hey guys, I want to roll Floyd first and Emmett last. Floyd first and Emmett last. We got last two here,
What
team.
would you say to
What
everybody
would you say to everybody out there that's wanting to build a platform in some capacity in this next year? What would your wisdom be to them?
The 5 things. Let's talk about this. Number 1, belief. Number 2, when you're building a platform, of course it's going to start off with you, but you got to have a team. And when you have that team, the third thing is everybody must work extremely hard. You're going to be up late hours. So the 4th thing is going to be dedication. You got to be dedicated to whatever you're trying to do or whatever you're trying to accomplish. And the 5th thing is you must have the will to win at whatever you want to do in life.
Man, those sounds simple, but this is coming from a man who's built $1 billion platform, made more in a year than any other professional athlete in the history of professional sports, $300 million in a year. And per hour worked the fewest hours that year out of any athlete being on the field. And I love what Floyd said to me after the fact. He's like, my team, the people who I surround myself with, is what's allowed me to scale. I stopped trying to do it on my own, and I built a team for my deficiencies. I talked to them after his interview. And the last one I want to say is, you know, between Emmett and Tebow, it was a treat for me this week because these are two guys who are big role models in my life. Let's hear from Emmett really quickly here.
This is not just my life. This life right here is to be shared. These experiences are to be shared and shared with others who are willing to listen, willing to learn from others who have gone further than they have gone. And that's just a level of humility. Even myself had to humble myself to go and talk to Jordan and start asking wise questions. I had to humble myself to go and talk to Roger Staubach and many others in the real estate business to understand. I had to humble myself to go talk to Jerry Jones and say, Jerry, do you mind if I come sit in your office and listen at your business conversation? Because I want to learn more about business. I want to learn from the best. And if you want to learn from the best, you have to humble yourself. And when you're in rooms with some folks that have gone further than you, even if you're going further than most, sometimes it's better to be quiet and just listen versus trying to chime into the conversation. But when you do chime in with a bunch of questions. Trying to figure out what makes these individuals the best at what they do. What makes them tick every morning? Because having multi-millions is one thing. Having an impact is even greater.
Yeah.
Because that impact and that platform that you're talking about, that thing is perpetual if you take care of it. Because if you take care of it, it's going to take care of you as well.
The greatest running back in the world, what stuck out to me is he went and learned from other greats. Michael Jordan, his rookie year, he went into Jerry Jones' office just to hear Jerry Jones talk business. Do you think that helped him as a running back? No. It helped him in the designing of his platform, his business, his entrepreneurship, his foundation. He went to other greats. And what I just did for you over the course of the last 84 minutes, is I summed up 40 hours and so many greats, millions and millions of dollars of the nuggets from those greats in each of the areas. And so I've got a gift I want to talk about. I'm going to do an extended Q&A. I'm not done. I've got a gift that I'd like to give the possibility to everybody here in just a second. But I want to ask you, choose one in the scale bucket. Choose one in the scale bucket. What's your rating? What's your rating? And what do you choose? What's your rating and what do you choose? We're almost done here. 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to start taking some questions. Yeah. A lot of Emmets, a lot of Floyds, a lot of Brads. Yeah. Listen, over the course of this last week, it's been a privilege and an honor to help you understand from, I'm saying this with confidence and not arrogance, the leading authority, I believe, in the world on building platforms, comprehensive platforms with a purpose. Not platforms for likes and egos and selfish platforms. All of these people, so many of these people on social media, not all of them, or platforms that want to make you fearful or divisive or negative, or platforms that are just intended for entertainment. Those are great. A good laugh is okay. But platforms for a purpose, there's not a leading authority that's greater than that. The only bum thing I have about this week is I didn't get to teach a lot, but I got to be a learner this week. I got to teach a couple of times, but I got to help you understand the 6 pillars and the most important thing, which is the foundation of building a platform. And these speakers, why did they come to you? Why did they come to you? These speakers showed up because of the double win. Stop listening to people that say somebody has to lose and somebody has to win. You can create the double win in your platform. And the double win for them is they wanted to serve you powerfully. Would you give them love in the chat? Because many of them are in a speaker room or they're in other rooms or they're online watching today because they wanted to see the summary and they wanted to see the nugget that I pulled from them. So would you give them some love in the chat if they served you? And if they didn't, you're probably not here, so be it. You missed out. For those people that didn't show up or left early, you missed. That's what's happening in your life. You keep leaving early. You're not showing up consistently. I know I'm speaking to the person who's not here, but I had to speak to them for a minute. And they wonder why. They wanted to serve you powerfully, and they served you powerfully. But they also wanted to serve this charity. And I said this at the beginning. You win, the charity's won. And I don't want you to stop winning. And so for just a few minutes, I'm going to do something that's absolutely crazy. Clicker's not working great here. Let's see here. These speakers gave back another win to you. You might think this is for the charities, and it is, but it's for you too. $30,000 of their courses. $30,000 of their courses. I said, you cannot give me a lead magnet that is not a product that you have not sold or that you don't intend to sell for the first time. We're recording 2 live courses in front of you that Amy Purdy and Stormy Wellington will probably sell for $1,000 to the market as they shoot it, and you get to get it as part of one of these packages as part of the bronze, silver, and gold packages. Tomorrow night at midnight, these go away. Usually you're used to saying, oh, I'm going to buy this course for $2,000, or I'm going to buy that one course from Grant Cardone for $2,000, or this course from Sage for $1,000. That's how things normally work. And you like bite your fingernails and you stress, should I go to this subject matter expert and buy this one thing? And what I'm telling you is what they did is include everything. Everything in the bronze, over $5,000 of value for $597 or $328 to pay. By the way, you asked for something and you're about to see what you're going to get. Many of you asked for something, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute. The silver package, 1 pay of just over $1,000 or 2 pay. It includes everything in the silver, everything in the bronze. And the gold package, what you normally buy 1 course for, 1 course. You get everything in the gold, everything in the silver, and everything in the bronze for just over $2,000 or a 2 pay. Listen, today, it's time to step out of your comfort zone. If you haven't already, because these packages go away tomorrow, because they're going to be back selling each one of these individual courses at the price that they see. So I want to show you something before I wind down today. Team, would go to platformtourcares.com, platformtourcares.com. What we're doing is we're actually, and what you're going to see on there, and it's in a couple of slides, many of you said, Pete, would you give the opportunity for a 3-pay? And so my team went to work late last night, working again through the night, and you're going to see the opportunity for a 3-pay on the silver and the gold, not on the bronze. On the silver and on the gold, not on the bronze. Several people are clapping their hands because I saw it in the chat. And so I want to bring this up really quickly because I need you to see the power of this. And Leaf, I need you to be efficient with this. So I need you to bring this up. I want to be efficient because I'm going to go into Q&A. Go back up, Leaf, to the top. Go back up to the top. And I want you to see, let's start with the bronze. Remember, all of this going to charity. Not only are you getting a general admission ticket to our live event in November, Platform Live, where we build your customized plan, you're getting the recordings of this. You're getting, keep going. You're getting Pat Quinn's Communicate to Convert. You're getting John Lee Dumas's How to Launch Your Podcast, stop right there, in 50 days. You're getting Chandler Bolt's How to Outline Your Book in a Weekend. You're getting Julie Stowen's course on how to launch your first funnel. You're getting your LLC set up the correct way, and all you have to pay is the filing fees, not the thousands of dollars that I had to pay to get it set up initially. And you're getting a one-on-one consult to set your business up the right way. Most of you haven't even done this the right way. You're getting how to take control of your emotions with Margarita Passos. Scroll up. Scroll up. Jesse's course is not called the Smart Scaling Workshop. It's called the Planning Your 2022, the way a billionaire plans his 2022. Creating your bad ace year. He's going to do a live 30-minute training that allows you to plan your 2022 to be the most powerful year. Julie, let's make that change on the page. That is your baddest year ever. Live. And he said you'll be able to plan your year in 19 minutes or less. You're getting the master class. Oh, sorry, I don't know what the Smart Scaling Workshop is. So it's this right here. It's this one right here. You're getting the master class. I asked Dan Fleischman, you only shared one of the ways that you build relationships. Will you share all 5 of them? He's going to do a live master class on how you build relationships the way he does. You're getting my course called Build Your Course in a Week. Chandler Bolt we're sending you a physical book in the mail. Chandler Bolt will be sending you a physical book in the mail. And you get Bethany Hamilton's Live Your Passion with Bethany Hamilton and Bob Goff. It is a paid course. That is the bronze. That's the bronze. $5,000 for just over $500. I'm just going to do this 2 more times. Go up. You get in the gold, in the silver. You get everything in the bronze. I'm not going to go back over the bronze. And if you want the explanation of all these, scroll down. But if you need an exclamation at this point, an explanation at this point, you're in analysis, paralysis of analysis. You get a VIP ticket. Scroll up, Leaf. You get a VIP ticket right there to Platform Live, not a general admission. You come in the day before in Platform Live, and we're helping do a 1-day mastermind on helping you build your story. You get Rory Vaden's How to Actually Craft Your Personal Brand and Your Bio so people trust you. You get Taylor Welch's Art of the Sales Influence course. You get Jesse Ecker's Build Your Ultimate Tribe course. You get a platform coaching audit one-on-one call We will tell you where the deficiencies are in your platform and the first things to work on, a one-on-one call. Garrett Gunderson is, scroll up, is giving his wealth curriculum course, how to generate generational wealth. Rudy Maurer is donating his 7 days to ads course. Craig Ballantyne is donating his effortless discipline course. Grant Cardone is donating his marketing mastery course. $1,000 course. Vilma Nunez is giving her visibility masterclass. Keep going up. And last one is Brad Sumrock is giving his how to invest in apartments and multi-unit properties, which is another wealth creation course. That's the silver. For those of you that are like, I'm bronze, but I need silver, or I'm silver and I need gold, write upgrade in the chat. Like if you're like, Pete, I want to upgrade, write upgrade. I'm almost done here. Now, let's go to the gold. Last one, scroll up. The gold gets everything in bronze, everything in silver, and you get a speak off ticket to Platform Live, November 12th to the 14th. A speak off ticket. What's a speak off ticket? You get a master class from Pat Quinn ahead of time to craft your story. You come in the day before virtually, the day before the conference starts, and we start a 3-round competition where you share your story and you get feedback from people who control stages. And then the quarterfinals move to the semis move to the finals, and on night 2 of our conference, 8 to 10 people are finalists, and they're in front of 100 meeting planners who control thousands of stages across the world. And it's like the American Idol for speaking. But everybody who's a part of it says it's the most profound thing that they've ever been a part of. You get that. You get Amy Purdy's masterclass that will be done live in front of you of how to build your story and how to tell a TED Talk. I did a SAM intensive this year. I have a value of $997 on it. But nobody in the room paid anything less than $10,000. And in 6 hours, I helped you put your sales and marketing plan together so that you could be married to Sam. You get the recordings of that, all of the worksheets of that, the game plan of that. You get a one-on-one signature talk design session. If you're in the speak off, how cool would it be for our coaches to outline your signature talk and then allow Pat Quinn to give you feedback on your signature talk before you ever get to the speak off? It's a $1,000 value that the market pays for. You get Make Money with Your Message from Sage Levine, unbelievable course. You get your YouTube creator course from Sean Cannell. Becoming a Media Insider, Landing Media on Demand from Jen Gottlieb. Super Bad All Day Long from Gloria Mayfield Banks. How to Create Your First High Ticket Offer from Russ Ruffino. How to Win Corporate Clients 101 from Angelique Ruers. And Stormy Wellington's masterclass on Instagram that she will be selling for $500 to $1,000. She's going to show you how to build Instagram. Guys, give me the whole view. Like I'm asking you, this is my request. Go back up. Yep. In 1 hour, 11 minutes, one day, 11 hours and 7 minutes. It's not that the price goes up, these packages go away. The packages go away. And so go to platformtourcares.com and click Get Now. Stop robbing yourself of this and take advantage of it. Guys, last few things here before I go to some Q&A. Can we bring this up? A lot of questions. Bring my slides up. There is a 3-pay now, which is beautiful. So go to platformtourcares.com. Oh, there it is. I didn't click the button one more time. There's a new 3Pay available as of last night. And here's the biggest question people are asking. How long do we get access to these? Do we just have access for a month or 2 months or 3 months? I haven't talked about them this detailed all week long because I had speakers that were here to serve you. So I had to do it in 3 or 4 minutes because most of my speakers went over anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes long. So I'm talking about this as passionately as I can because it's not that this will be back, it will never be available again because these speakers are donating this because of the double win. So you get lifetime access. It's like having a PhD. And guys, I want you to see this really quickly if you don't know who I am.
I just want to thank you so much, Pete, for such a warm, heartfelt introduction. I really, really appreciate that. And, you know, I love working with you. You and I have done a number of things together, and I know that we've made a difference. If my life ended tomorrow, I'd be like Pete Vargas is one of the people that helped me reach more people and make a bigger difference in the world. Because at the end of the day, folks, you know, you can put all the money, the cars and the jets and the houses and all that stuff. But if you're not making a difference, none of that really, really matters at the end of the day.
Come on, Pete, man. I love you, dude. I like those shoes you got on too, homie. You look good, man.
I thought you would like them. I thought you would like them.
Amazing. Look at that, man. Man, I'm so honored to be here with you, Pete. And just, I know that I've said this to you privately, but man, I just wanted to honor you in front of everybody. You guys have no idea what kind of man Pete Vargas is and how he leverages so much of the blessings that he has in his life to bring forth change to you. He's a guy that I knew 4 or 5 years ago, and Pete was doing good, but to see what God has done and how Pete has stewarded all the gifts that he's had and all the relationships that he's had and how he's impacting people now is just unbelievable. So Pete, man, I'm so blessed to be on your team. I'm so blessed to be here with all of you all today to build our platform. Because at the end of the day, man, the most precious thing that you have is your story. So I just wanted to honor all of you all for A, for wanting more out of life, but for B, for doing the work, for showing up, because it's not just enough to register for something like this. So right now, man, I just want everybody, if you're multitasking a little bit, just stop. You know, if the door to your room is open right now, go close that door. If you've got some noise canceling headphones on right now, let's put those on. Because in order for us to get some massive acceleration, we can't multitask. So be exactly where your feet are right now and just believe that change is coming, because all it takes is just for you to shift one thought process that you have, and it can change all of your tomorrows.
And Pete, what an awesome thing that you've pulled all of us together, because you're just magnifying what people can do on the planet. And I love how you're demonstrating what collaboration looks like. And can we give it up for Pete too? Because I've been a part of a bunch of these things where I'm one of like 2 or 3 women and it's so many men. And when you look at the lineup of what Pete's created here, I think we can all agree there's just this incredible diversity of ages, colors, shapes, sizes. I just bow to you, Pete. And I hope you guys can give love in the chat thread for Pete, because it takes work to do what Pete has done, putting this together and then donating so much back to philanthropy. And I hope this inspires every single one of you to go out and create the thing that's tapping you on the shoulder.
So Pete, this has been just an epic week. We are on fire with all the ideas you're sharing. This is just incredible.
Hey guys, these are all 75% of the speakers this week are clients of mine. Did you hear that? 75% of the speakers this week are clients of mine. Anybody remember that? Success leaves clues. Anybody remember that? I see my man smiling down here. I see a couple of people smiling. Let me see. Can you go down here? I love that. I love energy like that. Can we drop it down to the bottom? TN, thank you. Triple OG, thank you for that energy there. Davis Anderson, thank you for that. So I want you to see this. This is it. Step 1, step 2, step 3. A lot of people say, how does this work? Step 1, first thing, when you get bronze, silver, or gold, you get a general admission, a VIP, or a speak-off ticket. This is what people have paid for those. We're donating those back into the package. You will be able to claim your ticket for a $97 refundable deposit, because we have some surprise and delights that we're going to do. And as long as you show up, then you're getting that deposit back, but the ticket is comped in the package that you get. That's the first step. On November 12th, we will award the checks to all of the charities on November 12th. Then you're going to show up at that event. Step 2. Step 2. At that event, it's not about information. It's about building, insert your name, your platform building custom 2022 plan. All of you are different. What Lachelle needs, what Sharon needs, what Ariel needs, what Jesse needs, what Dana needs, you all have different needs because your platform are all at different places. So for us to tell William he has the same plan as Bob is not right. So the whole intention behind Platform Live, first time we've ever done Platform Live, is to get your game plan built, your custom plan built. So if you have vision for 2022, the people will not perish. But where there is no vision, no plan, the people perish. It's a scripture that I love, which is why the intention by the time you leave this event is to have your plan. Why does that matter? It matters, it matters because then you get step 3, you can choose the right course that matches with your plan. Now you're not overwhelmed and you have lifetime access to the rest of them. I don't want you to get started in this like bundle of things until you have a plan. Because when you have a plan, you know what to focus on. And when you know what to focus on, you can then determine what to use to learn that. You'll probably put 28 of these to the side and only use a couple of those. So now there's no overwhelm. Step 1, step 2, step 3. In about 3 or 4 weeks, you will have access to all of these for life. So this is it, platformtourcares.com. We've added the 3-pay on the silver and the gold. If you're wanting to upgrade from bronze to silver or silver to gold, write the word upgrade in the chat. The deadline is tomorrow at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time. On Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for every bronze, silver, and gold, we will have a welcome call on Thursday to go more into detail that I don't want to take everybody's time here to go into, to make sure that you are winning and feel continually supported after this event. So that's Thursday at 5 Pacific. And if you can't be there, it will be recorded and it will be sent out to every bronze, silver, and gold package holder. So what I want to say is go to platformtourcares.com. I'm going to take an hour of questions here. Go to platformtourcares.com. Our winners, he showed up powerfully, is Scott Brandon Hoffman, Jeremy Carroll, Janet Wells. We continue to honor homework assignment winners even till the end. Most people don't because they're just focused on their one offer, meaning their one course. We continue to honor people who show up and take action. So congratulations, my friend. You told us your 3 biggest takeaways in the most powerful way. So did Jeremy, so did Janet. My team will reach out to you with the prizes that you won today, And last thing that I want to say, this is a Tuesday only bonus. Meaning not tomorrow night, a Tuesday bonus. One of the biggest issues with people when they leave something like this is they're not supported. They have a digital course, one digital course that they buy, but they're not supported. And so these 2 good-looking dudes did not get to speak a whole lot this week. And so my team asked, would you 2 good-looking dudes make sure that you do 3 weeks of live coaching and Q&A sessions for the next 3 weeks before Platform Live to really coach, answer questions, and get people prepared before they step foot in Platform Live to build out their plan. And so what we're doing as a Tuesday only bonus, and if you've already done anything, you are included in this, so please don't ask that question, is we're gonna do 3 weeks of live coaching and live question and answers leading up to Platform Live to make sure that you don't feel left alone over these next 3 weeks before we get to Platform Live. And so we're gonna do that, and how I wanna close this thing. Thank you for staying. Thank you for hearing. For people who leave early, let me tell you something. For those, I think a couple hundred people left early, guess what? Guess what's gonna happen when they put their offers out into the world? Write in the chat. Write in the chat. Crickets. And people are going to leave early. Like, it blows my mind that only 4% of folks bought the lifetime recordings. But it also blows my mind away around what our speakers have put together for you. This is greater than the recordings. This is greater than the recordings. And here's what I fight for. You know the story of the man who changed my dad and I's life that I shared at the beginning? Well, what about this man who just texts me right now because I shot him a picture and I said, Platform Tour wouldn't be happening if you didn't introduce me into my expertise and my space. I just shot him a text and he just texted me back. He said, Pete, I'm honored. And their great people are there with you, my friend. My business doesn't launch without Brendan Bouchard. Other people's businesses aren't going to strive if you don't build your platform. My wealth, my thought process on creating a legacy for my family, and the generosity that we give, I would dare to say me and my wife give more than the majority of influencers in this world who even make more than us. My wife and I are going to give back significant amount this year, and we did last year, and so is my company, and so is my team. Well, it's because I got to learn from another person's platform. If you're helping people with money, you got an obligation to build your platform. I'm so grateful to Ryan Dice. I wouldn't know digital marketing if I didn't hear him on his platform. You helping people with marketing or sales or any other area? Build your platform. I'm so grateful for Axis and Jeremiah Callahan and David Eaton, because I'm a better parent and know how to have conversations with my kids because they keep me in tune with what's happening in my kids' world every week with the cultural translator. So I know how to translate culture of what's happening in my kids' life. I'm so grateful for their platform. You helping them with kids? You helping in the faith-based world? Build your platform. I'm so grateful for Carrie Glidewell, my first financial advisor, who has since gone to be with the Lord. She taught me what it was to invest in myself, and she taught me what it was to be generous. She gave my youth ministry $1,500 a month, so I had a budget to be able to bring speakers in to speak to my kids so I could grow my platform when I was a youth pastor and impact more kids' lives. She taught me so much. Same with Adam Way. So grateful for this woman, Susie Merrick, who, when I heard her worship God on stage, it created a desire in me to be a worshiper of God for the rest of my life. And for my best friend, Tyler Merrick, who introduced me to my faith, so grateful that they shared their message. So grateful for Carl and JJ Virgin. When I went to her conference, it opened my world up to health in a way that I did not know existed. All I knew was traditional health, traditional health care. And I got exposed to a whole new way to do health. And at 43 this year, in 20 years of marriage, I will be more healthier at 43, stronger, in better shape, better blood work, better knowledge, better expertise than I was at 33 and 10 years in marriage because of being exposed on their platform to a bigger world of health. And obviously to Daryl Scott, who changed the dynamic with my dad and I. Who changed the dynamic with my dad and I. I want everybody to be viewed here. These people had boldness and courageousness to share their message, and many of them, not all of them, but most of them are platform builders. They're committed to building their platform because of the change that they create in this world. Are you committed to building your platform for the impact, as Emmett Smith said, and the income? You make enough impact in this world, you'll have all of the income that you so desire. The thing that I'm excited about, one of the most exciting things, is on November 12th, we're going to give back to charity. But on November 12th, on a digital wall, just like we did in person in 2019, all of you that are at Platform Live on November 12th and 13th are going to write the message you stand for. This is a physical board that lives in a storage room in Colorado Springs. And if you could read these messages of what people stand for and what they have built in the last 2 years because of being committed to their platforms, it's inspiring. The only thing missing on that wall is the thing that you're fighting for, the thing that you're standing for. And I hope the picture before this was a demonstration that this is not just like inspirational messages. I talked about health. I talked about relationships. I talked about marketing. I talked about business. I talked about finances. I talked about faith. All of you are making an impact, a transformational impact in people's lives. And the only thing missing on that board, maybe not completely, I know some of you are on that board, is your name. And on November 12th, on night one, on one of the most unbelievable experiences that you will ever go through that night, after having been awarded the charity, after building out your plan, the experience that we go through that night of what you stand for will be so deeply convicted, rooted in you, and you're going to be making a public declaration with me that day. So I'm asking you today to step into this. Platformtourcares.com. Platformtourcares.com. Tomorrow night is the deadline. We introduce the 3-pay and our Tuesday bonus for anybody who's taken advantage thus far or anybody that takes advantage today. We'll be coaching you the next 3 weeks, and it'll actually kick off with a kickoff call this Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm traveling to be with my family. I'll probably be in the group a little bit tomorrow, going live a little bit tomorrow, but not much. And so I really hope that this week has served you. I hope it's served you in a powerful and profound way. And I hope that you'll take that next step in stepping into your greatness. Make sure you go to platformtourcares.com. I'm going to officially end this recording. I'm going to sit here and take questions for about an hour today, as I promised you. But then I'm heading home after that hour to fly out with my family. God bless all of you. Thank you for being a part. Give it up for my team. Give it up for the speakers. Give it up for all of you. And excited to see all of you that step into one of these. All right, team, tell me when we've officially ended the recording, and you can keep me on because I'm informal. It's ended? All right, let's restart it. Let's restart the recording. So listen, we've got probably, we still have thousands of people watching through all of our channels. Dolores, I want to make sure if there's some Spanish-speaking questions that we take a few. Me llamo Pedro Vargas, los tres. Mi padre es mexicano. Mi madre es gringa. Mi madre es gringa. Ella habla inglés para yo. Dolores, I tried. She spoke too much English to me when I was a little boy. But my dad is fluent in Spanish. My grandparents and my aunts and uncles are fluent in Spanish. So I'm so grateful for our Spanish-speaking community. Ivan, Vilma, Margarita, all of them are the reasons why you guys are here. And what I know coming from a Mexicano family is I know that my mind was small and scarce. My Uncle Pudgy, Uncle Ruben, my dad, I'm Pedro, the third. My grandpa was senior, my dad is junior. I know that what he was making was always the thing that my grandmother taught me. She's like, listen, if you can do what Uncle Pudgy did, and Pudgy's one of my heroes. His name is Ruben Vargas. He was the National Tennis Coach of the Year. My grandmother used to talk about Pudgy, and I knew kind of what a coach made. And I put my ceiling on that. And that's how I thought. I thought like that. Now, I wanted to have the impact that Pudgy had in a different way, but what I quickly began to realize is I didn't want to have the same ceiling from an income standpoint because I couldn't make the difference in the world that I wanted to make. More or less, barely, I could make the difference in my family, but I wouldn't be able to make the difference in the world that I wanted to make. And then entered my rich dad. My rich dad is a guy by the name of Garth Merrick. Garth Merrick is Tyler Merrick's, can we go back to my slides? Garth Merrick is married to Susie Merrick. This is my buddy Tyler Merrick. And Garth Merrick is a wealthy man in spirit and in his profession. He owned a company called Merrick Pet Foods. Some of you might know that because it's a big dog food company. And I started to pay attention to this man after I gave my life to the Lord. I started paying attention to this man because I had been told wealthy and money was a bad thing. Money is the root of all evil. So it's like the rich are bad. This was my culture. And I started paying attention to this family. And at that point in my life, I told you Daniel Grothy is the person who loves people more than anybody else that I've experienced. She is a close second. Her and Daniel would go back and forth. And I told Daniel that. Because I hadn't seen a family so loving, and I hadn't seen a family so generous. And I paid attention to him. And he was generous, and he was kind, and he was giving. Anytime I said, I don't have the monies to bring in Daryl Scott, Garth, I don't have the monies to bring in Daryl Scott to come speak to the kids in the youth group, Garth would write the check, said, don't let money be the prohibitor. Here you go. Garth opened the door with his finances to allow my dad and I to be impacted, more or less 1,000 people in our community to be impacted because he had the resources to fund the impact. He had the income to help take care of the impact. He's been doing that all of his life. He's been doing that all of his life. We have this ceiling, or we have this mindset about money. You know what? Garth and Susie didn't love money. It's the love of money that is evil, not money is evil. It's the love of money. I can say with all of my heart, and I know a lot of people in this industry who can't, I don't love money. I love the tool and resource that money allows me to have impact in this world, starting in my own home. But I need all of them, not just my Spanish-speaking rooms, but my English-speaking rooms to know there was this ceiling that I had on my life. And I didn't know I was going to say this. This is like impromptu. It's because of Garth Merrick, his dad, Tyler's dad, that I saw money, financing, entrepreneurship, and Tyler at a whole different level, that I saw it at a whole different level. And I'm so grateful to him. I'm going to see. I want to honor him right now. I'm going to honor him right now. Let's see if I can get him right now. Cool? I don't know if he'll FaceTime. I don't know if I've ever tried to FaceTime Garth, but I'm trying. I know you might be asking, why are you doing this? Because when you feel a prompting or a calling to do something, a lot of you don't take action in the moment and you never come back to it and you never do it. and you're sitting in the same place a year from now asking yourself the question, and the times that I ignore that voice inside, the alignment inside, whatever way, like when I get a yes or I get a no, are the times that I can go back and say, should have listened to that voice. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm going to try one more. Man, they don't know. They don't want to be in front of tens of thousands of people today. Nope. 0 for 2. 0 for 2. It's all right. And guess what? I'll pick it up and I'll do it again later. That's 0 for 2. We'll see if we try Susie. But the point of the story, there's 2 points of the story. Number 1 is my scarcity mind was putting a ceiling on my life. And Garth removed the ceiling. Garth removed the ceiling. Virgil Slintz removed the ceiling. Scott Hall and Scott Keeling, and I could go on and on with all these Hereford entrepreneurs that they removed the ceiling. And the second thing is when you have that prompting and you don't act on it. I know you can't physically see it, but I'm telling you, I've learned to act on the prompting, even if it's in the moment. Wasn't intending to share that story, but even if it's in the moment. So my Spanish-speaking community, you guys have an opportunity to make a big impact in this world, and I want you to remove the ceilings. There is no ceilings. But I also say that to all of my English-speaking rooms as well. So let's take some questions. Let's take some questions. And team, are we ready? If people want to raise some hands, we've still got a lot of people. I'm going to take probably, until about 3 o'clock. This will be our earliest day. I told the team, I said, we're going to be out here at 3. And then I'm like, actually, I'll be out here at 3. I know you guys have to still break down. So, hey, here's my request for questions. My request is not a lot of context, not a long story. I want to get through a lot of hands today. And so my request is, if I raise my hand, that means like bring it full circle, okay? I want it to be pretty concise. If you want to say something that's spoken to you or has been meaningful to you, you can. But I want to make sure you're really concise with your questions. So tell us your name and tell us how this week or today has impacted you, and then ask your question.
Hi, my name is Larita Phelps from New York City, Queens, New York. And it just gave me perspective of what I need to focus on as far as building my platform. And my question is, how do you, as far as the stages, how do you get the attention of those with the stage to be able to be on that stage?
Yeah, it's a great question. You have to have a problem. There's two ways you get the attention to get on other people's stages. I didn't tell you this. Our students, hey, Julie, what's the number? 350,000 or 320? Or how many stages have our students been on the last 3 years? Over 350,000 our customers have been on over 350,000 stages.
Wow.
And how you get on another person's stage is you make sure that person wins. How do you make sure they win? You help promote their event. You help make them money at their event. You help do something to provide for their event. I don't know if you guys saw it this week. I'm teaching you what I did this week. Grant, how can I help you on November 20th? Will you come MC my event? Count on it. Last night backstage, I called Grant and said, I don't want to just MC. I'd like to help you do this so you could attract more money for your foundation. He's like, let's talk on Monday when you're here. I'm going to be with them on Sunday. So you got to figure out how you win for them. But most of the time, so it's a win for them. But the big thing is they've got to see that you solve a problem for their community that they're not currently solving. So getting clear on the problem you can solve for their community that they're not currently solving. Too many people will go try to present a problem they can solve, and it's like, yeah, I solved that. Like somebody who's like, I can help get people on stages. Like, don't bring that to me. You'll never be on my stage. Because I would say we've put people on more stages than any other speakers bureau or any other organization ever. I don't know that factually, but I know what the numbers state. And I know our students will be on 1 million stages by 2025, 2027. So you've got to be clear on the problem you solve and clear on the way that you can win for them. And I'm telling you, I'm hoping you're at Platform Live with us, because literally on day 2, I break down I didn't get to teach this week. Like I wanted to, but I had too many speakers. Day 2, I teach the campaign that will win you stages on demand. So are you joining us? Are you with us? I know you're backstage today.
God willing, yes, I will be there.
What's God willing? What's God willing mean to you? I like that. I want to know what's that mean to you? Why do you say God willing?
Because financially, I'm not where I need to be yet. And I'm working on solving that problem to be there.
Okay. Let me ask you another question, because I want to coach a little bit backstage today. Did you get the recordings? Did you get the recordings?
No, and I'm regretting that tremendously, regretting it tremendously.
But let me ask you a question. When you had that opportunity, because I want to take people into minds. When you had that opportunity, I know what used to be in my mind. My mind used to look like, oh, they're trying to upsell me. Oh, here they go. I'm diverting back to the Pete who used to think that wealthy person is not generous. They're trying to take from me. They're trying to funnel me. And I have no context of that wealthy person until I start meeting that wealthy person. And then I start meeting that wealthy person, and they're inviting me for dinner, and they're breaking bread with me, and they're paying for my church camp that my dad couldn't afford. And they're giving me the money when I come back to take over as youth pastor so I can bring a speaker in. I have none of that context while I'm there. And the same is true in business. Oh, look at that upsell. You just want our money. I'm spending over $1 million so that every one of you can have this experience this week. And I'm bringing millions of dollars of speakers to you. Like it would cost somewhere between $2 and $4 million to get these speakers in the same room. And you're getting access to that for $67. Context changes the game. When you have context, if I asked you guys to say, would you kill somebody? All of you would say no. I've done this exercise. There would be 3 of you that would say yes. If I asked you to kill somebody, would you? And you would say no. And 3 of you would say yes. And then I would ask you the question, what if somebody was outside right now with my little daughter, Mia, about to take her life? Would I go kill that person to save my daughter's life? And the answer changes with context. Your mind is giving you a scarcity-minded context. 99.9% of the people can afford $67. How do I know? Because they spent $23 at McDonald's before they came here today. And $48 on coffee last week. 99.9% of people could have afforded $67. But something in their psyche gave them a scarcity context of the situation. This is teaching, by the way. This is how I shifted from a scarcity mindset to a wealthy mindset. I'm not talking money. Now you guys get the context to say, now you've had the post experience. Let me ask you a question. I'm not picking on you, but I want to ask you, what was going through your mind when you had that opportunity?
I was actually in the process of making that $67 purchase, and I second-guessed myself.
But what did you say? But I don't want to know the second guessing. What were the thoughts going on? Second guessing, okay, but what thoughts were going on even?
Transparency, to be fully honest, I was like, do I really need to spend that $67 for this? To be honest, like that's the only reason, to be honest. And I should have.
And I would tell you, if I had more time, I could dig deeper with her and we would learn more stuff. There'd be more stuff that actually happened. There'd be more stuff that happened. But let me ask you this, because I can't tell you this in marketing, but does the context of the experience of the event, the investment into the event, the quality of the speakers, no speaker made an offer, does that change? Does that context change the game for you? Like, does it change that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Listen, there are some people out there who all they care about is your money, and you're allowing that to impact your mindset. You're continuing to live, I'm not speaking just to her, I'm speaking to you. A lot of you, you're living in a scarcity mindset. Like how many of you, because you are back here free backstage, so how many of you did not take advantage of the $67 recordings this week? And it's not even available. You can't even buy them anymore. Let me see the chat. I want to see if you didn't. Not if you did. I want to see if you didn't. Be honest with me. This is like valuable coaching. I got to see bring that up a little. Me, thank you. You did not. So tell me what was going through y'all's minds. I want to know what was going through your minds. Let's be really honest. Some said I wasn't aware. Procrastination. Tricked myself. Same reason, scarcity. I found a way to get it. I have no idea what I was signing up for. There's deeper stuff in here. I'm not talking about bronze, silver, and gold. There's deeper stuff in here. And the deeper stuff has to do with what I talked about yesterday. I mean, it has to talk about the difference. This is just one thing. This is how I used to think. And I used to think another thing that I'd say is wealthy people are evil. Wealthy people want to take from me. Wealthy people have bad agendas. Guess what? I know wealthy people and poor people that have bad agendas. I know network marketers and entrepreneurs that are scammers. I know small business owners and nonprofits doing things wrong. But don't allow the minority to, like my hope for you, my hope and desire for you is to create this abundance mindset, not this scarcity mindset, this wealthy mindset. And so I say, God willing, like, I don't want you to talk yourself out of it. Like, do what you got to get to Platform Live. Find a way. Don't continue to talk yourself out of things. And I don't want you to hear me and say that you're supposed to buy everything out there. I want it to align with you. It's still got to align with you. But you got to question your thoughts. If you don't question your thoughts, you're going to continue to operate in a subconscious mindset and mogul the rest of your life. I would continue to be operating from a place of ceiling and scarcity. If I didn't start questioning, wait. Garth's actually buying my meal for me. Like, some of my aunts don't buy my meal for me. Wait, Garth's paying for my church camp. My uncle wouldn't pay for, my cousin wouldn't pay for my church camp. And they had the money. No, I'm saving. Sorry. Like, whoa. Maybe I need to start questioning that because my experience of that family is generous. My experience of this family is stingy and scarce. And so I just wanted to navigate that with you and navigate that with you. And I want you to have a breakthrough in this. So I know you asked about stages. I gave you your answer around that. So I want to make sure that you feel complete in that. But I wanted to go a little deeper with you. So anything that comes up for you?
As far as, I'm sorry, anything that comes up for me?
Anything that comes up. I just want to make sure you're leaving feeling complete.
I thank you because I got answers that I wasn't even looking for as far as overall. I definitely got answers I didn't expect. So I thank you for even allowing this platform to be available to the masses.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you. Hey, give it up. Hey, does Marcella want to come up or does she just want me to answer it? Okay. Marcella from the Spanish room. How do I overcome this fear that keeps me moving forward due to the fact that I'm a very young mother and I don't have much education? Anybody feel similar? Does anybody, like if you feel like have some similarities, like you have a fear from something like I'm not educated enough, I'm not respected enough, I'm not big enough, I don't have followers, like she's using the insert whatever you want. It's a little bit of an imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. But imposter syndrome shows up in many different ways. In many different ways. I'm going to tackle the way she's talking about today, but it shows up in many different ways. How do I know? Because they've all showed up in me. And I'm in no way perfect. There's one I'm trying to really defeat right now. And it's finding my identity in what other people think. It's like, I want to make sure that they're pleased. Like, it's a little people pleasing too. And so, Marcelo, what I would tell you is, quite frankly, I don't know what you're trying to do in the world, so I don't have enough context about what you're trying to do. But I can guarantee you, here's something I can guarantee you. You are at least one step ahead of where thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of other people are. So let's pretend you are a single mother that had to figure out how to start a business with a kid. And you got a 3-month-old. And you're not that educated, and you didn't go to school. By the way, I don't feel educated. English is one of my worst subjects. Grammar is one of my worst things. So I can relate in some capacity. I struggle with it because I'm not a great writer. A lot of my friends are great writers. I'm not a great writer. But if I tend to focus on the place where I am not great at, it takes me back into fear. Right now, I don't feel like I'll ever write or be a copywriter because I don't want to live in my weaknesses. I want to double down on my strengths. So if I can figure out where my strength is, I'm a better communicator than I am a better writer. So the first thing you've got to get clear on is stop focusing on the things where you're not educated and start thinking about the things that you are educated. That's step one. Step two is really important because you might say, I have no education. I'm talking about Hard Knocks USA education. It doesn't have to be school education. That is a misconception. My buddy Dean Graziosi calls it self-education. Some call it the Hard Knocks education. Others call it life experience. You are educated in some arena. Stop focusing on where you're not and start to identify where you are. Step two. Step three. Go figure out people who you're a step, 2 steps, 3 steps ahead of, and go serve them powerfully. Help them because you're already a few steps ahead of them. That's what I would say to you, Marcella. I really hope that helps you. Let's bring somebody else up with the hand, guys.
Hello, hello.
Hi there. I can't see you.
You can't.
All right. Hey, she's coming for her second question. She's coming for her second question. How'd you get lucky to come up here twice?
I don't know, but can you see me, hear me now?
I can see you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So I have one question and a comment.
Okay.
First off, I want to thank you for doing this. This has been an amazing experience, and I also want to just share, anybody who is thinking about the packages, that means that you're good. God is like, do it. And the 3 pay is awesome. It's like you got today and the rest of tomorrow to figure it out. And so what I want to share with the lady that just left, I'm a single parent. I have 2 businesses. And when we say we trust God, we have to really trust God. And I've had to buy inventory when I did not have it. I've had to really, really lean on faith because the investment, God brings it back full circle. And that's not been a time that my bills did not get paid. It came from somewhere when I have invested into what I was supposed to do, which is in myself, so I can serve others better. So I just want to share that with everyone. really quick, I believe in this. I've cried, I don't know how many times, and I'm not a crier. I'm just not. So I know that this is for such a purpose as now. So what I wanted to ask you, man after God's own heart, okay, and I don't know, my question may be very simple, but I wanted to ask about the 3 pay so if we have already paid before it went up, is the extra pay, or how does that work with the 3 pay? And I actually did have one other question.
Yeah, here's what you do in business. You listen to your customers or your possible customers, and when there's a trend, you respond. And so yesterday, the trend was, man, there was 2 cool trends. And tomorrow, or Thursday on the welcome call, I'm gonna talk to you guys about the second one. Let me tell you trend 1 that I saw in the comments yesterday. A 3 pay would help me do this. Okay, cool. Hey, Julie, can we make a 3 pay happen? Yeah. Jess, can we make it happen? Yeah. They get it ready. Well, it's ready today. So the technicality of the question, I don't know the answer to. And so I'm just gonna make sure somebody backstage connects with you because I don't know the technicality of it. I do know we're introducing a 3 pay because we want people to have access to this unbelievable bundle, which, by the way, there's only 3 or 4 things of ours in these bundles. Like the 90% of it, 95% of it, 90% of it's the speakers. So I love what you said. And so that's the first question is the technicality of the 3 pay. What was the second thing you asked?
Well, I didn't ask it quite. I was about to ask it. So I relate to you a lot because that's kind of me. I'm big at promoting others. That's why this was really great for me. But when it comes to the ask, in the sale or in the, because you have to ask, right? That is where I personally have stumbled.
Yeah.
So
what I will tell.
Say that. So what has made, what grew you to that?
Well, let me tell you what grew me, and I'll tell you what grew my wife, who's an introvert. What grew me to that was the very first customer saying, wow, this works. And the very first thing that got my wife, who's an introvert, I love Pete. I love Pete's passion, but I can't relate to Pete in the same way that I can relate to you. And I need you to know that you made a deep impact on my life, and told my wife an incredible letter, wrote her a letter. You have to hear about impacting somebody's life. And if you've already impacted somebody's life, then you have to visually meditate that person on a mass scale. So if you've changed one person's life, multiply that person thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of times, whatever you feel called to, and start thinking about how you can do that many times over. And when you can think about a Danny Brissell or a Caleb Gullums or a Lavana Roth or a Stormy Wellington or a Brad Sumrock, or I could go on and on and on of people you've impacted, you get very deeply convicted about that and say, I don't want to stop with them. I want it to be many, many more. And you don't have to have thousands or hundreds or dozens to start. You have to have one. And even if that one is you. And so you have to think like that. And when you think like that, it begins to have you become deeper convicted at putting yourself out there in a powerful way. Now there's tactical things, and we'll tackle that. I'm assuming, are you silver, gold, or bronze? What are you doing? Uh-oh, unmute.
Okay, I couldn't push it at first. So I am silver, and that's why I asked the first question, because I'm moving the bronze to the gold. I'm moving to gold either way, no matter what the answer is. But that's why I asked that first question, and that's what I want to relate to other people, because it goes up about 200, I think 69. Yeah. It don't matter. I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. No, I love it. No, I love it, and I appreciate that. But that's what I want you to start thinking about. And we're about to be on a journey that's going to help you significantly with that. So that's what I would say. So give her some love. The only other thing I want to say, the only other thing I want to say is, I want you to get to a point in your life. I love what she said. She's always stepped out in faith and God's always provided. I want you to get to a point in your life where when you're stepping out in faith, it's not because what's on the line is dinner or bills. What's on the line is the bigger dream. So like this week, I'm stepping out on faith and it's a bigger dream. We've invested bigger into this event than any other virtual event we've ever done. We're giving away more to charity. But I'm at a place in my life because of looking at money differently and wealth differently that if things go wrong or things don't go according to plan, and not everything's gone according to plan, that there's not something that's jeopardized in my home. And that's a different studying and a different thinking about how to invest in yourself, how to invest in the right things, how to save, how to create passive income. So I love what she said. The piece that I felt called to coach her on, that I didn't want to do live coaching for all of you, is you don't have to be at a place where you're relying on faith to provide the meals. Like there is still some scarcity, poverty mindset even in that. I believe you're scared. I was scared about this week because we were stepping it up in a bigger dream. But when you start becoming a powerful steward with the things that God has entrusted you with, I don't believe you have to live in that standpoint. And I still think you can be hungry as well, because I don't love money. I don't love money. It's not money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. And so I want you guys to know there's bigger breakthroughs for a lot of you that are like, I've done it and God provided, and then there's something in the pattern that has you not going to a different level because you continue to be provided here at a baseline foundational level. And I want you to get to a point where God's providing for the bigger dream, the bigger up-leveling, the next level. By the way, the next level is always going to have another devil too. Another something that comes at you. And I hope you guys are getting a little master class back here because I feel inspired and I'm sharing things that there was no intention to share any of this. None of this is mapped out. So, let's bring somebody else up, team. Yeah, Scott Brandon Hoffman, he's been showing up powerfully all week.
I'm like, man, that's like a triple lottery winner today, man.
Come on.
Yeah, like I won 2 prizes and now I'm here with my homeboy Pete, man.
Yes.
First of all, I just got to say one thing, brother. First, let me just do what I love to do, which is let me acknowledge you and your heart and your soul and how committed you are to God and how much love you have in your heart and how that comes across with so much passion and so much energy and so much truth and so much humility that it literally has just lit up tens of thousands of lives. And you are committed and you show up like no one I've ever seen. And I've been around a lot of the big people, man, and you are really, really the real deal, brother.
Thank you, bro.
I'm in love with you this week.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. A question I can answer for you? Thank you for how you've shown up this week.
Please. This is so good to hear this because I've been around. I've done a lot of programs. I've been around this industry for 20 years. I've been with a lot of people. I've worked with Prince Ye and Dean and Tony and Jen and Chris are friends. Just great people. I love them all. Here's the challenge I've had is my whole life I've always had an artist soul and more of an artist entertainer kind of personality guy. And then I went through hell and I come back and my heart is all about, I spent 20 years sharing my lessons, coaching other people, and really have a heart full of wisdom from all the pain I've been through and love for other people. Challenge that I'm having is I'm starting a late night show. So my big mission and vision is really at the highest levels about transformational media entertainment and then using my voice to empower people in the world and to pour love into people and do what I do best. And I don't love and I don't get lit up with the how-tos and the frameworks and the coaching programs and all that stuff. And I keep getting pulled back into that where my heart is really about, let me just use my soul to express my art and my creativity, my lessons and my wisdom and the love for people, God through me, and use my voice to empower people without having to have all the steps and all the things. So my question is, what do you recommend? And even like joining, up leveling to the packages. I'm in silver right now, probably up level to gold. I'm like, I don't want any more courses, man. Like, I don't, I'm not looking for the courses and the info so much. It's more for me, it's been about going out in the world and actually really stepping into that next level and getting past the residues of what's held me back all these years and the traumas and things I've been through. And I have so much love for people, brother, and so much creativity inside. And my question is, what do you recommend for building a platform and showing up in the world that is on fire for my own soul, that impacts? Because I'm like you, I want to reach 1 million conscious, heart-centered, mission-driven creators to use their gifts and their soul voice to change the world. But I also want to make sure I get to do my art and do my music and my songwriting and my poetry. What do you recommend?
Yeah, so there's
and all musical.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm gonna, and thank you for how you're showing up. I think they'll probably, I'll answer it, and then I'll move on here because I want to get a few more people in before I leave. But here's what I want to tell you: you're very much like so many people we've worked with. You've got that creative. You're probably a 6 on the Enneagram, a 4 on the Enneagram, not a 6. You're probably a 4. Do you know what the Enneagram is?
Yeah, I forgot what number I was.
Yeah, well, you're a 4.
Kind of
a creative and artists are 4s, and I love the fact that they want to stay true to their art and their creativity. So what you have to do is you have to find the way that allows you to monetize it to be able to have the impact that you want. And it's got to align with your soul. So you don't have to do coaching. You don't have to do consulting. I mean, I think about people that I see online that are doing it well. I mean, I think about the guys over, my friend here in town, Johnny, the Egan's. They have a thing called worship artistry. And it's a training program for other worship guys. And I think of Rick Pino, who's out there. And I think of, you've got to figure out a monetization strategy. Lewis Howes gets his podcast sponsored because he has enough followers and enough people watching and downloading. My buddy Jordan Harbinger just landed a 7-figure deal for his show because he's got enough audience members watching. So you have to figure out a monetization strategy that A, aligns with you, and B, if you're not going to be the one to execute it, you got to go find a partner or somebody that can execute it with you or for you. So something's got to exist there. And I hope our exposure at Platform Live will give you, I believe it'll open up the ideas. I think of Tim Ringgold, who's a beautiful musician, and gave him the opportunity. And hopefully we can expose you to some. But you got to figure out something, but it's got to align with you because I understand that you're an artist. So
yeah, I think that's what it's all about. And
I'm not gonna allow a lot of dialogue today because if I do, then I'm not gonna get to a lot of people. But that's what I start with you today. And then let's continue to pick up the conversation because I feel like I'm gonna be seeing your face plenty, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Hey, let's get a couple more up here, guys. All right. Go ahead.
There we go. It didn't want to unmute there for a second. Sorry about that.
Hey, Constance.
Yes, Addie. Everyone calls me Addie.
Okay, I'll call you Addie.
Yes, quickly. I know you're running short on time, so I'm going to talk really, really fast, which is normal for me. Coming to you from Mobile, Alabama, my bedroom, covered in cats and dogs. So the question I wanted to ask you is, I live in a very small house, like one of your speakers, Miss Purdy. I also currently live on disability checks. Thank God she was able to get off of those. But, sorry, cat. My mother is one of my biggest supporters, but she also she's one of those people that's like, remember what Nick Santa said, that story we're told, money doesn't grow on trees? And so I did invest in the $67 VIP, and I did invest in the bronze, and that's as high as I can go with my own business money. But because I live in that sort of environment and I live with her, it tends to cause a lot of stress. So since we live in such close quarters. My question is, what do you recommend as far as self-care for dealing with that?
Yeah, can I maybe not, okay, thank you. Thank you for your question, Addie, and I'm gonna answer it. Does anybody? No. I'm just listening. And hey, guys, I'm going to ask after the question because I'm going to answer it. I can't have a lot of dialogue today with anybody. Addie, I want to ask people the question when the letters AR come up for you. What comes to mind? What abbreviation does that come up for people in the chat? AR. AR. What's AR? What do you think of? Yeah, thank you. Who got that? Whoever the first person to get that is another prize winner. By the way, we will email and be sending out our prize winners. 3 of them happened by the way they showed up today. More of them will happen after the fact. I wanted to make sure and get through all the 40 nuggets. So we will be awarding our prize winners. So accounts receivable. When you think about accounts receivable, it's money that's owed to you. And that's what comes up. And so I asked, what is it that I would do if I were living in that situation? And I want to give you a different acronym for AR. And the different acronym is action and results. Nothing silences the critic or the person that says the things to us like taking action and getting results. So like my family and friends for so long are like, what's that thing you're doing? Like advance your job or advance your life or advance, they didn't even know the name of my company. None of them knew what I did. I heard money doesn't grow on trees and you better be careful and you better be cautious. And my sweet grandma was like, you're moving from your $32,000 a stable job to go to Colorado on no money at all, no salary? Like, that's crazy. Don't do it. No, Grandma, what I'm doing was crazy. But nothing I said changed my grandmother's mind until she saw the action and she saw the results. And so, Addie, what I want to say to you and say to anybody out there that has those naysayers that are in their inner circle and their family members, it's not like I was going to be like, see ya, Grandma, I'm not hanging out with you anymore. No, this is the grandma who got me through college. It's like, no, I'm going to go take action. I'm going to get results. And then I'm going to show my grandmother when I send a $32,000 check to the IRS. How about I do that? I remember showing my grandmother the first $50,000 check that I sent to the IRS. I think she peed her pants, and I'm embarrassing my grandmother by saying that, but I think she peed my pants. This is one of my heroes, too. This is my grandma Mary. She's one of my heroes. But I had this stable job. And the ceiling, like maybe I'll get to 50,000. I think I was at 35,000, not 32,000. 35,000. I started at 17,000. I show that sometimes, my W-2. But 35, I double my salary. If I work another hard 10 years, I'll be at 50,000. And I'm not knocking that, by the way. But we're programmed to think that's the only way. Ricardo, it's not the only way. Like, we don't have to think like that. Raise the ceilings off of your own life, off of your own mind. Other people have programmed that into you. So what I would say to you, Addie, is there are self-care things, and I would listen to the speakers from yesterday. But what I would tell you, it's not a self-care tip. It's a prove to them that you're committed. And you don't prove by buying something, you prove by taking action. And you prove by getting results. And now all of a sudden, it'll subtly start to go away. It doesn't go away immediately. But I can tell you, my grandmother doesn't worry about me anymore. And so that's what I would say to you. Great question. Great question. Thank you for that. Let's go to another person here. Got time for probably 2 or 3 more.
Pete?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Not much. Hey, just one quick question on pivoting the messaging and making sure that everything that I represent and the people that I've been able to work with know that I'm congruent with what I'm trying to pull off. And with some of the things in the past that I need to move away from, what would you suggest moving into the future as I build out my platform and things like that?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I'm in the middle of it right now. And guys, I'm not gonna have dialogue, so y'all can do the mute every time. Brian, thanks for how you showed up this week. You definitely stood out, and you can see that I'm looking at you over here. And thank you for, I'm hoping, are you gonna be at Platform Live with us? On Silver, or write in the chat, what are you doing? Bronze, awesome, thank you. I'm glad you're gonna be there. For 2 decades, I've been known as the stage guy. I was even on stage. Like, can we show this slide right here? Just put my slide up. Like right here, I'll be really honest. Grateful for all these platforms. Well, even as the stage guy, my comment when I was talking about stages, this slide used to be, I heard them on a stage. I heard them on a stage. So years ago, and I haven't shown this picture that often, but years ago, let me see the whole picture, team. Years ago, when I showed this whole picture, this was about stage messaging. And we've been the stage people, and we can help you build your own stage. We can help you get on other people's stages. We're really good at helping you build your talk and building your products. And so we've been known as the stage to scale, or the stages folks. And we drilled down on that for the first 4 years of business, 2016, 17, 18, 19, and a lot of 2020. But in 2020, we started to shift our messaging to be about platforms. And you're right here in the middle of it. We've never done a challenge or a tour or an event. Or an event. I should have said this. You guys who make that decision to be at Platform Live with us, you will be the first inaugural class to ever go through Platform Live, ever. The 27 people that came to Reach Live in 2015 are the only 27 that ever have that title. So you just have to, I've been known for something, and now I'm trying to, I believe Platform allows us to grow to an even bigger and reach more people. And we know it's not just about stages of how you build your platform, because we've learned that the last 5 years. So you've got to begin to reshift and change the messaging, because you can't talk about the old and be congruent with the new. Like congruency, what Brian just said is such a really, really important thing. Congruency is critical. When there's not congruency with what you communicate and your products and even the stages that you're on, it's really difficult. And so, hey bro, we'll help you get very congruent on November 12th through 14th. Like, I didn't get to do a lot of teaching this week. We'll do some teaching, but more implementing and workshopping to get your plan articulated on the 12th to the 14th. Like, most sessions, for the way, are 2-hour sessions, and it's like 30 to 35 minutes of teaching with like 60 minutes of workshop timing, breakouts, other people speaking into your plan. Like, it's a different experience where there's a lot of information here. So we need to really get that congruency as you shift to another dimension or a different arena. So thanks for the question. Let's take one more here.
Hi, Pete. This is Helena in LA.
Hey
Thanks
there.
so much for all of this. My question is this. Could you talk a little bit about your cost matrix for this event? The reason I'm asking is I have put on conferences ad nauseum in the past, and I just have never made enough to really cover for myself. So I need to shift, but I'm not sure about the ratios, about covering how you make sure you cover your administrative things, because I'm in the faith-based arena. Sometimes people seem to be resistant to pay, even though they get a lot of value. That's my question.
Well, anybody catch her limiting belief or her thought process in that? Anybody catch her reason, her why, her excuse, her faith-based. She said, because I'm in the faith-based. One of the bonuses you guys get that is that I did not get to talk about, and Julie, I didn't see it on the page, but I'm gonna give it to the folks who, oh wow, you guys are here? You're still watching? One of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a bonus for anybody in gold that can run one of their own events like this and not have to do it at a level like this. I didn't get to bring on Pedro Adeo on Friday because Pedro he had something come up on Friday, but he is a master at challenges. He's the challenge guy, and he's gonna do a course in our gold level where anybody could put on an event like this. And so I'm gonna include that into the gold level for people, and you don't have to do it at the caliber. I don't want you doing it at the caliber I'm doing it. Like, I don't. Like, this is a very expensive event, and we give profits back to charity. We have to give profits. Last year, we were very profitable with this. This year, we believe we're gonna be profitable. We believe we're gonna give a lot back to charity, and you'll know the exact amount on November 12th, and we've already raised some money, and it's been exciting. But you don't have to do an event at this caliber, and you don't even have to expend expenses. The thing I love about Pedro's course is he's actually gonna show you how to use a cell phone, Zoom, and a Facebook group. Which means you gotta pay for Zoom, which I think you can afford to, right? I think you can. I'm asking, what was her name? I'm sorry, will y'all scroll down? You can pay for Zoom. I think there's even a free account. You got a cell phone, and Facebook group pages are free. So there's a way to do a caliber of this. It's more of a challenge. This is a virtual event. Like, this is a combo of it's got some challenge-esque to it, but it's more of a virtual event. And virtual events have costs. Like that guy right there, he cost a lot of money right there. And that rig right there, that cost a lot of money. And this LED wall behind me cost a lot of money. But you don't have to do it that way. You can do it more simple without the cost. And so my recommendation to you is to do something more simple, the way Jesse Ecker talked about it, the way Dan Fleischman talked about it, the way that Pedro Adeo would have talked about it, but he wasn't here. And I'm gonna make sure his course is in our gold package around having you create it without a lot of expenses. Because if you're just getting started, that's the way I want you to do it. That's the way I want you to do it. Very, very limited expenses. So unmute her for just a quick second. That's how I'd want you to do it. Our cost structure, our biggest cost is just getting your attention. Our biggest cost is advertising, Facebook ads, biggest cost by far. We had a small little speaker cost. We didn't pay, 99% of the speakers donated their time. We had a small cost. We have a studio cost. We have a production cost. There's quite a bit of cost. The biggest cost is media and advertising. But I want you to do it in a more simple way and not have to take the risks out of the gates, like do it kind of risk-free. So I'm asking you because there's a segment. Will you be at Platform Live?
Yes.
You will?
Yes.
I'm gonna see your beautiful face, right? Like we're already good to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You're freezing on me a little bit. So there's a segment in there where we're gonna have you understand how to build your own event with very little money, if any money at all. There's a segment that we'll train on. Very little money. Yes, she is a beautiful queen. I love that. Thank y'all for the kind words that you're giving to her. So that's what I would say to you is don't take all of the risks. Don't have all the expenses. Let's create a more simplified event, a simpler event that doesn't have you have a lot at risk. That's what I would say. Anything that you want to follow up on, because I'm going to close with one thought here in just a second.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm good.
All right, guys, so this is what I want to ask you. One final question. No, next year, we're not doing physical event this year. We'll do a physical event in 2022. Platform Live is all virtual, but I can tell you, you will have 30 different people that weekend speak into your business and your platform. 30 different in the breakout sessions. You will build a plan. You will build a game plan. And with the plan, it will be the direction that you want to go in 2022. So I want to encourage you today, go to platformcares.com, and I want to ask you a question. This is what I want to ask because my team's going to download these comments. So the majority of you are still here in Zoom, and I know we're still streaming to several groups. I'm going to ask all of you, for me staying around another hour, hour and 7 minutes, I'm going to ask for you to give me one answer back. And I want you to hear the 4 options because I want to know where you're at right now. Maybe it's 3 options. I want you to answer one of these. Right now, in this moment, don't answer until you hear them. I want to know, are you just with the simple words bronze, silver, and gold? Don't answer yet. Or the second answer, today I will be bronze, silver, and gold. So the word today followed by what you will do. The third one is on the fence and why. On the fence, why, or no, and why. I'm asking for one of those 4 answers. What are you right now? Or are you making a decision today to be one of those? Are you on the fence and why? Or are you a no and why? Because what I want to say to you is where I started today with my friend in the Spanish-speaking room, the gentleman right there, Dolores, where we started. So what I want to say to you is a lot of how you answer that will tell you where you're at kind of in your journey right now. Like if I was completely broke, and had no money, and my bills and things were on the line, I would answer no probably. But based on the mindset I have right now, the following statement after no wouldn't be a victim or like scarcity type of story. It would say something like, no. Right now, I have things to provide for my family that I have to take care of my family. But in the next 24 hours, I'm asking a few friends, I'm asking a parent, I'm asking a mentor if they would help me get the bronze so that I can do this. So I'm being real. Right now, the answer is no, but I'm doing everything I can. If I were on the fence, I would ask a question like, I'm on the fence because I don't know this. If you're on the fence, you're not in that category I just told you. You're telling yourself you're in that category I just told you, but you're not in that category. You're trying to say it because it stretches you a little bit, but I would make sure that I'm on the fence because this one question hasn't been answered. Can somebody from your team help me answer this question? That's what my fence would look like based on what I know today, not based on the mindset I had 20 years ago when I was trying to shoot to be like my uncle with the ceiling. If I answer today, I'm going to be my word and I'm going to go do that today. And my today would look like today, it's happening right now. Because if this is what you give in 8 days, I cannot imagine what you're going to give in the next several months and with the lifetime access of this curriculum. I'm going right now. You can count on my word. That's what my today answer would look like. And if I answer bronze, silver, and gold, I would answer it in the most powerful, exciting, I'm gold, Or I'm bronze and I'm gonna figure out how to be gold. I'm silver, I'm gonna figure out how to be gold in the next 24 hours. I'm gold and I'm gonna win that speak off. We talked about 30 plus strategies, tactics and strategies of how to build your platform, proven tactics and strategies that have worked for the last 2 decades, some that have worked since COVID because COVID's changed our world, the proven tactics and strategies. It's not the how-to that's gonna get in the way of the building of your platform. It's not the how-to, it's the who. It's the who that's gonna get in the way of your platform. Another way put, you and me. Why do you think I spent 6 hours in the studio yesterday? By the way, if I would have led with that 6 hours on day one, people would have not shown up, because you've got to sometimes, as Grant said, give them what they want and actually sell something to them that they need. Grant gives you the planes and the watches and the houses and the cars. And as soon as you step into his ecosystem, he tells you you're crazy if that's what you invest your money in. You better be at a certain level before you ever do that. If I'd have given you yesterday as day one, you might not have been here all week with me. But the thing that's going to get in the way of you building your platform is you. How do I know it? Because it was me. For a few years, it was me. And even when I don't go to the next level, a lot of the times it's not a tactic and strategy. Sometimes it is. A lot of the times, the majority of the time, it's me getting in the way of that next level of growth. So my ask of you is, stop getting in your way with the non-powerful version of yourself. And start stepping into the powerful version of yourself, because the world needs more of that. The world needs more of that. The world needs more of that person. So I'm thankful to you guys. If you have questions in there, and my team needs to answer them, I'll make sure that maybe tomorrow we'll probably do like a informal Q&A session where we'll open up a Zoom room. And if you have questions specific, there's no more teaching. Teaching's done. You got plenty. You got enough to serve the rest of your life, really. But if you have questions, we'll make sure maybe I'll be back in the group later, and or some of my team will hop in a Zoom tomorrow, and we'll just say, get your questions answered. Don't be on the fence. We want to make sure your questions are answered. And so I'll make sure that that happens in the next 24 hours. But for all of you that have been here with us this week and been consistent, or been here a few days, thank you for your time. I don't take it for granted. For all of you that made that decision to go to the next level with one of the silver, golden packages, bronze, silver, and gold packages, thank you for the investment that you're making into yourself, as well as simultaneously helping serve the charities of this week. And for those of you that are still asking the question, should I really hope that in the next 24 hours that you really will dive deep inside. And if it aligns, by the way, don't let fear be your driver of alignment. Let that soft, still voice be your driver of alignment. Never let fear make the decision for you. If it aligns and you got a piece, move forward. And if it doesn't align and you don't have a piece, I didn't say you don't have fear. I didn't say it doesn't stretch you. I said you don't have peace. Don't step into it. But thank you, and I hope that we've served you in a powerful way. To all my team, every single member out there that is watching or not watching, thank you for what you guys did to contribute to this week. A lot of platforms are going to be launched. A lot of platforms are going to grow. And a lot of platforms are going to scale to a different level because of this tour that we put on this week. Super grateful, and hope to see you guys on Thursday's call. We'll send you the details for everybody. It will be at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 Eastern Time. Make sure to take advantage of today's bonuses by going to platformtour.com. cares.com. Thank you. You guys don't have to cut the live stream off. Keep it on for a minute. I don't care if they hear me.